Ah, fuck. How long has that been there? Hold on. Alright. It's okay. It's just my chest. Relax. It's fine. You like it. Everyone likes it. Yeah. Right? That's why we do the pec flies and the push-ups. All sorts of other good stuff, right? I was making a coffee. Big coffee takes time to make. Ta-da! Yeah, have you seen my Weeder mug? The best mug. I don't have my headphones on, so I can't hear a damn thing. I know Shadows in New York is playing music in the background, and you better enjoy that. You're the only person who can hear it. Fuck, it's been a while, huh? Yeah, I took some time. What do I say all the time? Just a big feelings guy. I got all the big feelings. I think that's pretty appropriate and very accurate as well. And I had the big feelings. Not last Wednesday. Last Wednesday I was off because Emma had a call with the senator. Senator? Pretty sure. Someone important in local. Local? I'm not even name dropping them. Senator Jordan Green. Jordan Steele Green? Jordan Steele from the Greens. Okay. Clearly, I'm not the politics guy, and we know this. I'm the vibes and aesthetics is about as far as my politics goes, and we know that. It requires a different skill set. You can't get far in politics just by flirting with everyone. Or running good games. And that's it. That's all I do. Shit talk as well. And I have a pet dog. But before that, like Monday, I was just sad, man. It happens. And then Monday this week, similar. I sat down, I updated all the stream information for Slam Shadows. Going through the Principi Sempetrina, like finishing the quest line and then starting the endgame, right? But I just wasn't up to it. And everyone is reminding me to like stay and look after yourself and be kind, and yeah, I love it. I exactly as well I should, because streaming is the fun hobby. It's the way to get a little bit more video gaming in a way that makes me focus entirely on the project we're working on together, the game. So if I'm not up to it, despite all the beautiful people who've gifted subs to one another and bought subscriptions themselves and paid for at least one game, thank you very much. Even though I do earmark fancy dinners with people I love as Twitch money. I guess if there's no obligation for any of you to pay for the subs, there's also very little obligation for me to like follow through on that promise. That's just a boundary I gotta have. But we're on the way up. It's been a difficult year, up and down several times, but I think we'll make it through to a better state. And I'm excited to do that. I had a good day at work too, very good day at work. But it did involve one one-on-one with the TL who was like, I'm signposting this before it's actually a problem, but you will run out of personal leave if you keep taking mental health days when you need them. So what do we do to make sure that you don't burn out? Also a reminder, you've got too much, not too much, but quite a lot of like annual leave. Take that. So I'm not going to work next week! The New Year's break, the end of year shutdown, the very Canberran tradition of when big parts of the city just stop moving, begins for me after this Friday. And I'm gonna play Total War Warhammer 3, which I am enjoying more than I expected, but less than... it's complicated, it's hard, but it's fun. Started with Khorne, who doesn't suit me at all aesthetically, but playstyle wise, which a very good friend, Smoking Jaguar, I say using a screen name, which is very weird, is like, you would probably enjoy Khorne because the strategy is the face is the place. Now I'm a sucker for an excellent way to summarize the strategy, and that sounds really funny. The faces the players? Yeah, I play like that. Right click on enemy. How to win more games? You need to destroy the enemy's nexus before they destroy yours. Yeah. And I don't know, let's give it a go. I finished Mass Effect Andromeda as a replay and I still maintain it's the second best Mass Effect game. It's my second favorite one, that's for sure. It's got such promise. It's so beautiful. It's really heartfelt in a number of locations. If the Legendary Edition felt a little bit like a cash grab, because honestly, I replayed all three of those and it was just the same game. A coat of paint, and that's good, but I manually did those with a lot, A-L-O-T. Which stands for a lot of textures. Brilliant naming. Excellent. And like... But if that's how the Legendary Edition felt, like, Andromeda still felt like at least the writers and the not the UI designers, that's probably one of the worst parts. Not terrible, it's just clearly built for controllers. It felt like a lot of people designing areas and quests and dialogue and NPCs, and the art design is incredible. Just a lot of people going, there's so much promise in the setting and I'm not done with Mass Effect yet and I want to explore something new that you still feel connected to. It's a game that's filled with love, enthusiasm, and a desire to discover the new. And that's why it sucks that it's forgotten, right? It's a gem. I don't have a larger point to it. I can't build up a whole essay to change minds about Andromeda, but if I had the power, it would be for people to reconsider Mass Effect Andromeda. Not just like immediately change your mind, I demand it, but like give it another go. Patched in its final state. There's no fucking way it's updating again. It was released in 2018. It's nearly... Guys, it's nearly 5 years old. But it's beautiful, and the combat is the best the Mass Effect setting has ever had. The setting itself is fabulous. It really mixes brilliant Mass Effect from the Milky Way and puts it into Andromeda in a beautiful way. There's quite a lot to explore and discover and enjoy. And it's just simply not fair that it was shoved into the basket because it had bad facial animations and some weirdness at the beginning of the launch. It's not just a gaming thing. It happens for movies and it happens for TV shows, less TV shows, and for books, big deal for books. But for games, it feels the least appropriate. That pre-orders and release figures are the most important things, and that's all. And ignoring the whole tail idea. But some things are improved over time. Everyone's thinking of Final Fantasy XIV. Or No Man's Sky. But you don't need to turn a disaster into an artwork. Sometimes you can turn something that was pretty good but has some big flaws into something that's pretty damn good, and that's enough. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I don't play games on release a lot of the time. Not just because sometimes they're buggy and sometimes I want to wait until I feel like they're complete and I get all the DLC and go through. It's just... a lot of the time things are improved through effort, reflection, release, editing, and you can do that with video games in a way you can't with most other media, right? Playing a game that's been updated and improved after seeing the original player base, that's a keystone of video games. That's a uniqueness of video games that other things don't get. And I'd say it's a closer experience to what video gaming is like compared to getting something on release day. There's a declarative statement for you. Feel free to clip that. We'll send it out to other people so I can argue about it on Twitter. Please do follow me on Twitter. I chronicled, without many spoilers, I chronicled quite a lot of my Mass Effect Andromeda experience. What did I fucking... Is Cloudbot just not running? I did miss you guys when I was away. Seriously, I missed chatting to people. I missed having just a place to talk about video games for a bit. Even though on Monday I felt like I couldn't perform. I couldn't pull it up. So I needed a break, that's for sure. It's still recognizing that I like being here. It just costs something sometimes. And the way I've been describing it to people is that this year has drained me. If there's a reserve of resilience or power or emotional stability, I've just had it drained through no one's like actual efforts. No one's deliberately said, let's set out to hurt Jimbles. That's pathetic and incorrect. But man, life just got in the way. Over and over and over. And it's been my job to deal with it as best I can. And some days it was really hard, and some days it was easier. And I made it through in the end. Cloudbot's off. Cloudbot is now on. Alright. There you are. You can hit me up on Twitter. There you go. Some days it was hard, sometimes it was better. And I'd say right now we're in a stage where it's better. And I'm so ready for that. I messaged someone important to me today that I feel light, I feel happy, I feel sexy. Yeah. It's been too long. I felt wordy and pretentious, yes, a little bit. Using too many words to say a simple thing just because the words sound poetic in my ears and my mind, so putting them down as best I can. Expressing myself, trying to get the emotions that are inside me out into the world, not just so people can look at me, but so that someone can look up and say, I feel that way too, and now I feel less alone. And it doesn't hurt that it's a very good shirt. And it's a new metal chain, because the one I was using started to die. And the leather wore out ages ago, and I've just been using a stopgap one that I couldn't adjust. Now I've got metal chain. Leather's good. I think leather suits me very well, but metal chain stands out against black t-shirts very well. And shines against my skin, and while a big part of me is designed to try and give attention to other people and put other people in the spotlight, I certainly don't hate being the center of attention for periods of time. And that's why I stream. Let's turn off the display capture, right? No, not that. Oh, that's right. This one, we do that. That's why I stream. I can get the most attention possible. And I read out these beautiful words. Let's play some more Vampire, huh? I'll read you a story. I want you to settle down onto the couch. I want you to have a good night with me. I want you to shout out onto the chat if there's anything you want me to say, repeat again, answer any questions about the World of Darkness setting, explain anything further, or just say any particular words. You and me, my friends, we're going to get through Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York, the sequel to Coteries of New York. Twisted Spiral? Is it by? One of those things I feel like I should know. I forgot. Some of the art is fantastic. The fan art is really good too. Store page. There was DLC released for Parliament of Knives. Another draw distance. Where did Spiral come from? They released these two. There's another game called Serial Cleaner, which is their most recent one. I'm working on it. I don't know if I want to pick up the art book and the soundtrack, even though they are really good. They just may not be for me. Horde mode shooter, okay. Weird first start, but I gotta say they've done a fantastic job writing a visual novel, so let's enjoy it. You and me, friends. Have a bit of a dark time with vampires. Let's get journal. That's the dictionary. We need journal. Oh, this is just log with her traits. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yep. 3 minutes after I wake up, I see a message slipped onto the apartment's front door. Kadir? Yep. Looks like he's got a short window to meet me in Queens a few hours from now. Well, it's point. Single suggestion. Get ready for action. Fine, then. I will. Best way to do it would be to clear my mind. Just walk without thinking. Reset the framework. Some fresh air ought to do it. Maybe a chance meeting with someone could get me out of this mental rut. Let me look at the world from a different angle for a while and improve my mood. Although when it comes to improving one's mood, nothing beats some crimson red pouring down my throat. Not to mention, these cigarettes taste best with a full stomach. Let's go. I think we can. I know you're enjoying my chest, but let's get a little more face, huh? There you go. Let's do this. That's my table. There's no place like home, and I need a little peace. Big Beat Burger, here I come. Oh wait, who is this loon? And again I find myself at the entrance to my sanctuary. Current vibe, not exactly an embodiment of joie de vivre, but unburdened by my usual self-loathing. All in all, a pretty decent frame of mind. Beware, Big Beat Burger, something wicked this way cometh. And poof, just like that, my mood is ruined. All it took was a single step through the door. Frenetic woman. There's blood on her lips. Some swivel-eyed loon took my seat. Her legs are crossed over the table, dirty shoes staining my chipboard altar. Oh, come on. The clothing style is obviously meant to look eccentric and patchwork, but it comes off as tragically derelict. There's nothing coincidental in her table choice, and it's not just because there's plenty of free spots tonight. She ogles me with those beady little eyes, daring me to come and try her. I give the guy at the till, Benny, I think his name was, a quick glance. No response. Unsurprising. He's a veteran. He knows better than to get involved. Is this supposed to be a message? Long shot, but a reminder of the Camarilla's watchful eye, maybe? Everything about this lady, her hairstyle, her mannerisms, lipstick smeared nowhere near her actual lips, screams lunatic. Oh, okay, so it's lipstick, it's not blood. I'm not the type that fights tooth and nail to get the other bats out of her cave. But I'm not just going to back down for no good reason, either. I'll quietly take a seat right in front of her and wait. Yeah, you crazy-haired weirdo hag, I can be patient too. Spend the next 5 minutes in silence. She just sits there and stares at me without blinking once. Another few minutes go by, dragging on indefinitely. She's chewing some red bubblegum with a wide-eyed grin that makes Jack Nicholson's trademark smirk look like Mr. Rogers' beaming smile. Not gonna lie, chew. That munching, chew, is getting on my nerves. Staring contest. I give her my most hateful stare, trying to make her look away like it's some pathetic preschool standoff. With every passing moment, I struggle more and more to focus on her eyes. It feels nauseating, kind of like gazing into some ever-shifting Escher-esque fractals. I don't know. Become so vertigo-inducing, I need to avert my eyes for a moment, losing the dumb competition as a result. I can barely suppress the urge to spit right in a stupid, doodle-covered face. She uncrosses her legs in a strangely seductive motion. In her mind's eye, it probably looked like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, but in reality, it had all the grace of a tracksuit Slav squatting. Seems are going to be here for a while longer. Pull out a cigarette from my crumpled package and light it casually, as if I wasn't bothered at all by the invader. Before I can take a single puff, the nutjob snatches the cigarette out of my mouth. Don't mind if I do. Who do you... She cuts me off mid-sentence. Shh, no talking. You need to get back to your happy place. I try to hold the impetus to rip her face off. She picks up after a few seconds. I don't like you. I don't hate you either. Not yet, at least. Sheesh. I'm a good judge of character, but yours still eludes me. Maybe, Mako. We've met another Melk already. Maybe someone else is going on here. Maybe she's Sabat. Get to the fucking point. She flicks the ash of the cigarette in fluid motion and takes a long puff. No exhaling. The smoke comes out of her mouth while she speaks like her intestines caught on fire. My special friend asked me to note your every step, judge your every move, and count your every failure. And believe me, when I started this job, I thought there would be a lot less counting. Who is she talking about? Panhard, Kadir, talk? She tilts her head in an upsettingly canine manner. Little girl, I ran all sorts of charts and graphs on you, and they all pointed to the same result. Useless hussy. Can you help your sister out? And illuminate me as to what all the fuss is about? I want to help? Come on, if you're a good doggy, you might get a biscuit. As if all that bullshit wasn't enough, she taps my nose like I'm some fucking puppy. Oh, no, you didn't. You want to get nuts? Okay, let's get nuts. Dominate. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Try to bore into her mind, like I did with many others before. But my body suddenly twists and stiffens, forcing my limbs into a bizarre state that's not unlike rigor mortis. She seems elated by my state, sending a meaningful smirk my way. The kind of wry expression that says, you fucked up big time. Bark, bark, little pup. In a last-ditch attempt to subdue her, I peer into her eyes, but all I can see is that smile and her sable eyes. The stars of black. Huh? What? What? What the? There's dirt under my nails. Those leaves? Why are there leaves in my hair? What's that awful taste? Adding to my bewilderment, the thing that drops from my jaws is a grimy femur. Falls straight into a hole in the ground, one that I must have dug by myself, judging by the state of my hands. I'm covered in mud top to bottom. My clothes are crumpled and torn in a few places. How much time did I spend on all fours? Fuck. I rarely expect to keep a good thing going, but it really looked like I was in for a decent evening. No dice. All I can do now is clean myself up as best I can and make up for lost time. Shit. I feel spiritually tainted. If any cat cafe was open at this time of night, I'd go there to recover. Let's just move on. It's time to get back to work. Step inside the subway and head for my meeting with Kadir. Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought you were kidding. Nope. You could not reach her, but I know for a fact Hope is there. It's pointing in the direction of a double spiral building. Is that where I got double spiral from? What is she doing there? I understand she's the current leader of the company, acting CEO to be exact. No. You're pulling my leg. Of all the places in this city. The company that brags about creating IT solutions of the future, always surrounded by rumors of monstrous workers' abuse, all sorts of ethical violations, trading information with governments. Twitter. And ending the career of a certain promising journalist and professional fuck-up who attempted to investigate them seriously. You might be able to ask her both professional and personal questions. 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't get it. The last time I checked, the company belonged to Cara Montgomery. I'm told she quietly took a sabbatical a few months ago. It sure looks like the kind of sabbatical you don't come back from. Final death? Very possible, but I have no idea. I remember I was shocked when I first learned that one of my nemesis back in my old life was a vampire all along. When I realized her position made her untouchable to me, I was beyond mad. Well, whatever happened, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. What about her brother, Jesse? You're asking me? Last I checked, you were the expert on this company. I just handled the basic intel for you, even though I shouldn't even really be here. Yeah, and I hope you realize that I am grateful. You'd better be. So is Hope just another corporate shark? Well, she is the child of Carter. Theatrical pause. He smiles when he sees me wince. But very much unlike him, who took her in for her particular multifaceted talents related to the internet, knowing he's hopelessly behind the times in that regard. I hear she's unruly, though. Well, unruly is good. I can work with unruly. So you're telling me she might not be a stuck-up startup bitch? Language. As I've told you a few times now, when it comes to the internet, just assume I haven't the slightest idea. I'm getting there myself. I haven't been able to check my email for 5 months. I have no idea what the kids at BBB are talking about most of the time. Oh my god, I might be getting old. Don't worry. The moment you realize you don't give a damn about most fads you would have cared about years ago is a liberating one. Been there, done that. At the beginning of the 20th century. Old. Anyway, you'll probably hear Hope's story straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. You shouldn't be looking at anything in the main building. It's a front. Ignore it. What you want to do is use the elevators to get to the lowest floor of the building. It's stories about the double spiral basement, but I had no idea what to make of them. Every source told me a different rumor. Did any of them tell you a rumor about an army of underground ghouls? No. But I'm all ears. Double Spiral employs an army of ghouls as cheap workforce. They work and live underground, away from prying eyes, with lesser rights than regular kind employees. Perfect for business. Wow. I'm actually speechless for a second. I have profoundly low expectations of that company, but every time I learn something new about what's going on behind the scenes, I'm still surprised at the level of scumbaggery at play. I leave the moral judgments to you, expert. In any case, you need to reach room number 507, where the CEO supposedly resides. And then get Hope to answer your questions. This old-timey flip phone vibrates. Speaking of, if you've got any left for me, it's now or never. I'm needed at the art hall, now. What's the best approach? How should I approach the building? I've told you everything I know, just do what I do all the time. And that is... scout the situation, then decide. Right, I forgot that's what you do all the time. You mean scouting? No, stating the obvious. Phone vibrates again. Well, that's it for me. Arturo is pestering me to show up at the Elysium 5 minutes ago. Tell him I kindly suggest he should go fuck himself. Not in 1,000 years. Well, good luck on your mission, soldier. With a mock salute, he disappears inside his car and drives away. Nothing left for me to do but to head in. Still, I'm anxious. There are 2 approaches to choose from, and whichever I pick, I will have to stick with it. If I force my way in and assert my authority bad cop style, that should make an impression. Bad bitch coming in with the entire court behind her back, bluffing my way to victory. Thinking in and politely asking for cooperation seems like the less disruptive, more me option. But it's not like being me has gotten me anywhere thus far. Shit. Kinda wish I was still stuck in my routine where I didn't need to be doing things like developing a personality. Bit of a coin flip, honestly, but I gotta make the choice here. How do I approach Double Spiral? Covert! Being aggressive is not me. I don't even want to think about the headaches I'd have to deal with. Not into a bad cop shtick. The less disruptive I am, the better the chance they won't get pissed off at me, and I do need Hope to be cooperative. This good cop approach should pay off eventually. Alright, let's do this. I cloak myself in shadows and let my instinct take over. The lobby isn't well lit, so it's not hard to get behind a lone security guard. He does notice something's wrong with security cameras and hits the display a few times, but once he's done, I'm already inside an emergency staircase and making the descent. The doors to the deepest floor are locked, but it takes just a bit of brute force. And I'm inside. Hello, Double Spiral. Thought you wouldn't see me again, huh? Assholes. I look around and find an emergency evacuation map. Bullseye. Looks like all the information I need is here. There it is. Room 507. I'm in love with the art with this game. Holy shit. That's sick. Punk with an Apple Watch. With the Jesus Loves Nightcore shirt. Sick. Someone comes around. Looks like one of Hope's nerdy ghouls is here to sniff around, but I'm already in the shadows. slink away. She starts patrolling the corridor, checking if everything is okay. Cameras, body heat sensors, electronic body heat sensors, electronic locks. Still, I'm managing. I mean, cautious, just like Kadir would want me to, but it's surprisingly easy for me to avoid security. Let's take it from the top. I remain cautious, just like Kadir would have want. I remain cautious, just like Kadir would want me to, but it's surprisingly easy for me to avoid security. Progressing toward room 507 is far easier than expected. I reach a double spiral offices where, just like Kadir said, hordes of ghouls are slaving away for their company. Deep learning, spyware, social media manipulation, yada yada, AI art generation, GPT chatbots, stroking Elon Musk's ego. The important thing right now is everyone is staring at their own screen, so it's easy for me to keep sneaking. Aside from the fact that she still seems to be on my trail, only slowed by the fact that she's thorough in her search, I better pick up the pace. And there it is, the final corridor. Time to announce myself. I'll slowly walk to the end of the corridor. There it is. Room 507. The door looks harder to take care of than the other ones in this place. Probably won't be able to take care of it the same way I did the others. The door to the office of the current double spiral CEO. This fucking company. I get pissed off, but I'm trying to control it. There's a camera by the door. She knows what to look for. She can probably see I'm here on her screen. Remember La Sombra? Yeah, La Sombra. They don't show up on photos or electronic devices very well. It's part of their clan curse or quirks. I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest. But just to make sure, I knock on the door. Hope, I'm a Camarilla detective and I will need you to answer some questions. This is beautiful. This screen is fucking gold. Hope, I know you're in there. Open the door. I will not leave until you do. I'm here on behalf of the sheriff in New York City. Hope. Keep pounding on the door and calling her name. After a minute or so, a voice rings out in the intercom. Is this thing on? I guess it is. Alright, I got your message loud and clear. I'll meet you in the offices. I'll be right there. Looks like you made it past poor Nastya. Get back to the offices and keep her company. She's probably beyond pissed off about you eluding her grasp, but don't make it a big deal, okay? Thank you for your cooperation. I will be right there. What's up? What godly character designer has made every character in this game amazing? Check out her fucking sleeve on her right arm. Can you see that that is a Hangman game progressing? That's incredible. I'm floored. Double O and AW. Jeez. On one hand, clothes you could reasonably expect to find in any CEO's wardrobe. On the other, a body covered in tattoos, flashy jewelry, dyed hair, and wild makeup. Thought that she might be yet another CEO playing the nonconformist crosses my mind, but she strikes me as someone who's more than happy to live in her own little bubble. Still, I won't be fooled. She is the boss of Double Spiral. So, how did you find me? Just the voice, now that I've seen her design. It's fucking incredible. Chef Kadir Al-Asmai, dude. You'll have to ask him. Take out a new cigarette without thinking. You can't smoke in here, lady. Just let her. Don't treat me like I'm your enemy. I come in peace. Deep, relaxing drag. So when did you realize I was here? Right at the start, there was a momentary laser malfunction. Lasted a second or two. Hasn't tripped an alarm, but I guess something was off. That's it. Hunches have gotten me every job I've ever had. Hunches saved my life anytime I got into a messy situation. These days, the reality is too complicated to rely on anything else. Can't find a better head of security now than Nastya, and her hunches are the main reason why. They're like a sixth sense. Don't I know you from somewhere? Haven't I seen you somewhere? Don't know. Club, maybe? Do you think? Is it the Blood Doll? Yeah. Last year, soon after I was embraced, I visited that one club in the refurbished warehouse. And you were there. You've got a memorable aura. Yeah. I DJ and help out there from time to time. Got to show my face if I want to make it big. Why don't you focus on that? Following that career path doesn't exactly seem compatible with being head of security for Double Spiral, not just because the necessary skill sets are so different. Nastya looks at Hope. Working at Double Spiral provides a lot of benefit to someone who relies on the internet for promotion, lady. The slowed aging is just a nice perk. Lovely chat, girls, but I'd love it if you saved it for later. I'm CEO now. I have a lot of duties I must pretend to handle. I just need to ask you a few questions. Sure, yeah. Tell me if you need me. I've got a weird hunch about this one, too. Don't worry, I'll disappear as quietly as I arrived. Yeah, I'd prefer to be sure that you left, lady, so that I can report it to my boss. We'll talk security later. Don't worry, this shit happens. For now, on Tech 5. Nastya leaves, and I'm left alone with Hope in the corner of the office. Feels funny to stand here in front of you. Oh, and why is that? You people had me fired from my job before I was embraced. I see you're that Sawinski girl from Lodestar? Yeah. Somehow I never put two and two together, so you're the La Sombra rep for this city now, huh? She's talking to me. She keeps tapping at her phone with terrifying speed. I don't feel like I have her full focus, and it's getting on my nerves. Just so you know, I have no idea why you've taken Cara Montgomery's place on a date you'd tell me, but the bitch deserves to burn in hell. Hell yeah, she does. Wait, did you just admit... Hold your horses. No, Jesus, this is why normal CEOs pay for PR people to talk for them. I only agree that she's a horrible person in every way that counts, nothing more. Does she know that's what you think of her? Why does she let you take her position in the first place? What? I will just cut through the bullshit, okay, Miss Lodestar? I guess this is about Jesse and Kara covering his creepy ass. You've spent months on this case and you'd like some closure. Pretty much. Well, here's your closure. Here's your closure. Double Spiral has severed practically all ties with them. They don't work here, they get no company money, and they probably won't ever show up here again. Company's not the circus anymore, and the workers are not their monkeys. I'm in charge now, so yeah, if there's anything you'd like from me, I'm all ears. It wasn't just Jesse and his sister. The company has ingrained structures of abuse and immoral. I've ordered internal investigations and audits. Everyone related to these illicit activities was disciplined. Illegal actions, firings, and rebukes, all depending on the severity of their misdemeanors. I don't have a stomach for all that creepy corporate shit, so I'm trying to steer the ship in the right direction. Don't know what else I can tell you. Do you believe her? For fuck's sake. No matter how I look at it, it seems she's done everything I hoped to achieve. The Montgomery clan is over. The queen bitch, a symbol of everything that's wrong with tech CEOs, is gone. Jesse, that perverted, embezzling son of a bitch, is gone. I should be glad. So, why is there a sinking pit in my stomach? I should make amends. Someone should take responsibility. Listen, I get why you're mad, but this is a corporation. Diffusing responsibility is what it does. Everyone who worked here was guilty. So were all of Double Spiral's clients, shareholders, etc. I hated Montgomery too. I took the company from her hands as an outsider, and now I'm the only person on a power trip here. All the fuckheads who disgusted me are gone. You want to hold me accountable, sure, but hold me accountable for my own actions. Hell, these would be more than enough to put me away for life. The biggest case in my professional life, solved by some weirdo who fucked Cara and Jesse over in presumably underhanded ways. Doesn't get more anticlimactic than this. Fucking hell. I want to ask her how she did it, but why would she tell me? All I can guess is she's an outcast who decided to get her hands dirty and obtain power to do something she considered good. Something I've always been afraid to do. Anyway, I feel for you, but I have a lot of work to do, so if this wasn't just a trip down memory lane and you have any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, okay? I feel like a car just ran me over, but I need to keep my shit together. Right. A few days ago, the Anarch Baron was found dead in his office. Are you familiar with the case? Douglas Callahan. Of course I'm familiar. Every kindred online is talking about it. What are they saying? They're accusing everyone. I mean, it is the internet. They're accusing you? Why would they do that? I found a peculiar note in Callahan's remains. It had your name on it. Huh. What can you say about this? Nothing. Never met the guy. I've never even seen him. He wasn't my crowd. And why would he have a note with your name in his pocket? Why were Walt Disney's last written words Kurt Russell? No clue. I watch her closely, but nothing suggests she's hiding anything. Well, the note actually contained 3 other names and nothing else. Agathon, D'Angelo, Tamika. Ringing any bells now? Her finger, which hadn't stopped moving across the phone touchscreen since I saw her, freezes. Yeah, it kind of does, actually. It's a short list of promising unaffiliated kindred that was making the rounds in NYC a few months ago, in case anyone needed a hero for hire. Didn't know Callahan had it. I know Sophie Langley did, as well as a few Primogen. Not sure about the Anarchs. Who could have prepared this list? One of the local information brokers. Short but telling pause. Anonymous. How anonymous? Sort of anonymous. She's obviously conflicted about whether she should tell me, or maybe she's pretending so that I worm it out of her. I've been a good sport ever since I walked through her door. Maybe appealing to her sense of morality will work. I really need your help. I want to prevent the tensions between the local anarchs and the court from escalating, and every lead helps. She briefly considers her options, then gives up. It's my sire, Carter Vander Weyden. Oh. He's brokering information. Everyone knows becoming the Prince of New York is his ultimate goal, and he wants to make friends in all the high places. Sharing useful intel is a pretty effective way to achieve that. So you're telling me that he, MLK and Primogen, sold this list to an Anarch Baron? Sure looks like it. Why would he suggest his own child to somebody? To have a person on the inside. Just another way to further his information web. Wouldn't they realize you two are close? The story going around is, he left me alone and I hate his guts. Well, at least half of that is true. She's talkative. Probably sees me as a way to undermine Carter. Let's see how much further I can push her. I was wondering how someone like you could control a company like Double Spiral. I suppose a friend in high places would explain it. Yeah. Lucky me. Not happy about ruining Montgomery? Not happy about ruining Cara Montgomery? I know I'd be on Cloud 9 if I did that. Oh, I was beyond happy. It's just that... it's something different now. She stares. With dozens of displays on the wall in front of her. Do you remember the Y2K era internet? I do. This game is beautiful. Holy shit. Jesus, I barely remember the internet at all. My people can't really use it. But yeah, I guess I sort of remember forums, GeoCities, browser wars, all those handmade amateurish web pages. It was a golden age. Everyone was welcomed to freely express their creativity and obsessions in this abstract new frontier. No formulated rules. Every site was a distinct new universe to explore. You know, as a kid, for some reason, I kept saving every web page that moved or changed me in some way. I don't even know why I did it, but today a folder with these is one of my greatest treasures. Fast forward to today. I'm the boss of a company that has one overarching goal. Steer the online narrative in every possible way that benefits the Camarilla. Because the online world is so fucked right now, I can do it using only 5 websites or so. Every day I deploy thousands of believable sock puppets to force some belief on the masses. Right now they are being managed by these ghouls. Soon they'll be partially managed by AI. Basically an all-American version of the Chinese 50 Cent Party. A new pattern of public opinion guidance. Ever since I was a teen, I pretended to be different people online for fun. Aping the posting patterns of others was something I turned out to be horrifyingly good at. Became even better at it after the embrace. Something about the voice of Malkav in my head. After several years, I became a one-person internet empire. I could impersonate anyone. At I Dream of Tulips, a humble florist from Chattanooga who strives to share positive energy with their audience using photos of beautiful bouquets, motivational quotes, and the occasional The Office gift. At Vulva Hufflepuff, a single mum from Brighton who reckons all these trans women must be bonkers and spends seemingly every waking moment of her life having a row with anyone who disagrees. At Polygon Classicist, a 19-year-old kid from Utah who keeps posting Y2K 3D renders of poorly proportioned, scantily clad ladies and telling his audience to remember what they took from you. Somehow this talent got me here, where it's no longer fun but work. Work I usually entrust to these ghouls because of all of my duties I want out before my entire fucking mind gets monetized. But Carter won't have that. So I'll keep doing my best for both him and Double Spiral's investors. So that's why she wants me to look at him. I see most of the operations focus on New York City. Look, if the alternate version of me is that stylish, I'm fine with it. I'm pretty tied to my identity as a masculine man. I like being a man. I went through the I'm queer, so I actually get to think about my gender. Oh! Yeah, alternate alt-right me. Remember what they took from you. And I don't think polygonal titties are any better than bump-mapped titties. But I do post about titties, right? They're not incorrect. My Twitter feed is the most personal... It's the most personal social network I have. Which is sad. It's crazy. It's a matter of public record, but... the people I know there, I either trust... Yeah, my Twitter feed is me being a sad boy, but my likes tab, haha! No, that's titties. I don't know. Sad boy, sad art boy is what I'm trying to ape at the moment. It's turning out pretty well. You know? Posting about Andromeda, too! Yeah. Yeah. My likes tab is worth it. There's a lot of smut there. Remember what they took from you. Such a phrase. A lot of them, yeah. How do you imitate a New Yorker voice with these sock puppet accounts? Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easy. To a normal, well-adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. Ever watch that 9/11 Howard Stern show? No. Check it out someday. It's educational. Ask anyone in NYC about it. And they're like, it was a great bonding moment. He was helping us make sense of everything. He kept saying what we were all thinking. Yeah, listen to it, and it's everyone yelling that we need to nuke something. Maybe the entire world. Get rid of all the Muslims. Fuck human rights. No investigations. Take the royal. Cheery. You watch it, you study it, you witness that specific brand of humor in the face of tragedy, and you understand that nothing outside of NYC really exists for the people who live here. Or the vampires. A foundational text, really. Whenever I need to get into that New York mindset for work, I let it play in the background. Works like a charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime. Someday I might. For now, I think I will confront Vander Weyden with what you've told me. Or is it what you haven't told me? What's the story? Me? Of course I haven't told you anything. You're such a good investigator. You figured it out by yourself. And if you ask, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick. I see. Thank you. What for? I did nothing. Let Nastya show you out. If you don't know Vader Wayden's address, just ask her. It's good shit. That's real good shit. That's a fantastic fucking scene and incredibly well written. What a beautiful Malkav character. It's funny that the Malkavian mindset, like the common trait for Malkavian is someone who throws a fish at someone in combat and laughs and is crazy lol random, and what you have instead is that. Right? I think about how good things are made worse through association with bad people a lot. Why? Well, I'm a man. I'm a very sexual, bisexual man. Many bits of my identity that I like to hold with pride are ruined by association with the worst people who have those aspects. The selfish people, the mean people, the people who don't actually care. I think about it a lot because how do I avoid association with the worst kind of people? I don't know. Drive yourself mad with anxiety if you try and ruin every potential negative association with an aspect of you. Terrible. But I still think about it. I don't want to remind someone of the shitty sad boy ex who put their feelings on display just so that you'd have to engage with them and give them attention. Right? Because I'm not the worst possible interpretation of myself. No one is. And especially not someone who goes to effort to make sure that they're not. Who recognizes when they make a mistake and then make amends to fix that. I don't want to get too saccharine here, but I bet you're not either. And potentially we can give each other a little bit more benefit of the doubt. And I know the benefit of the doubt is where the Nazis hang out. The assumption of goodwill. The I'm just kidding, bro. But once or twice, I think you can do it. Actually, let's tell a short story. Like a very, very short story. About a month ago, one of the things I try to avoid at all times happened. Not worst fear, but a big fear. Something bad. Something terrible. Very scary. I posted something into a group chat that someone didn't like. More than just not like, as in like I'm posting a thing, a meme no one gets, or I'm reposting a shit post, or a copy pasta that deliberately is designed to be something that people don't enjoy. No. This was a group of friends and someone who was like, saying it, chief. Not only that, gives me the impression that like you're trying to make this all about yourself. Scary. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I don't want someone to believe I'm a worse person than I actually am. I want to be perceived accurately or appropriately. I want to own up for the mistakes I actually make, not the ones someone's misinterpreting, right? Terrible thing. Made me very anxious for a little bit. But this is a positive story. The people I've chosen to care about, the people I've grown attracted to, the people I want in my life, they are the type of people who reached out, and when they said, "This ain't it, chief," they also said, "This doesn't seem like you," and I wanted to check. Did you mean? Or did you mean? And then I was given the opportunity to say, no, seriously, I'm actually sad and very anxious about this thing, and it turned out fine. And it's going to be okay. But I just needed to vent for a little bit. I needed some people to say, yeah, man, that's real hard. I hope you're doing okay. And then, of course, they were like, cool. I'm glad. One of the fears, the things that I believe could go terribly wrong, happened. Someone accidentally took something in a way that made me seem worse. And you know what happened? They checked in, made sure I was alright, confirmed that it wasn't as bad as they thought at first, and everything was totally fine, and has been ever since. There's nothing like that as a balm for anxiety, a reminder at times that sometimes something you fear a lot can happen and it's not going to be as bad as you hope because you've cultivated the space and the people, and maybe even the reputation, that it's not that bad. When people know you for who you are and like you anyway, or not like you in spite of that, but because of who you are, makes everything a little bit easier to bear. I don't think you watch my streams, but you're a friend, and if you know who you are, I'm going to say it's a very impactful thing in my life, and I appreciate you. I don't know how to show you any more obvious way than this. Thank you for having me, Mr. Van der Weyden. No need. No need. I'll be happy to assist your investigation in whichever way I can, Miss Swinsky. God, he's a creepy milk. Lovely art, though. That sickeningly sweet smile, and this office, spacious but oppressive. He's a man. He's a man who knows how to subtly unnerve people. But does he even realize it? I'm sure the presence of the esteemed Addison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent. Am I right, Addison? Looks like I've interrupted a friendly meeting. In the far corner of the room, I spot 2 glasses of blood and 2 spittoons. Vices and follies of the rich. You sure I'm not wasting your time? Not at all. Busy as I might be, I can't say I'm not curious about the findings in the case. Yes, my thoughts exactly. So how are you handling your newfound responsibilities? Creepy mouth. I'm managing. I'll start by asking the obvious. Where were you the night Douglas Callahan met his untimely demise? And Wayden raises an eyebrow and then lets out a restrained chuckle. Hear that, Addison? I might be suspected of foul play. Exciting, isn't it? Carter, no antics, please. Just answer the question. Of course. Well, I was right here, just like I told Prince Panhard. As much as I love to celebrate my power, sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desk. So your alibi is you were right here. Alibi. Yes, I suppose. Can anyone back up your story? Well, I did make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that. That doesn't really answer my question, does it? He regards me with a stare reserved for a troublesome child. Miss Swinsky, this right here is my private little fortress, a space specifically designed to make me focus. I don't really let people in to break that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests such as yourselves, and of course, a few wonderful Mexican women responsible for the cleaning duties. Dick. So you don't have an alibi? Look at his eyes, screams, why won't you at least pretend to try and get on board with my program, kid? I suppose, but why would that matter? Because I found something that belongs to you on the victim's person. Pardon me. Took the words right out of my mouth. We're not talking a motor weapon or something of that caliber, of course. No, it was a short list of 4 names, unaffiliated kindred who could be useful to anyone interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Tamika, Hope, D'Angelo, Agathan. Excuse me, Miss Swinsky, but I'm afraid I don't follow. How is that something that belongs to me? I have on good authority that it's a short list you've been shopping around to anyone interested here in NYC, be it the Camarilla or the Anarchs. Addison tenses up, and his host is not happy about it. This is just preposterous. I'm calling a bluff right here, miss. No, the bluff is coming right now. Mr. Van der Weyden, if you want to voice concerns about the information I have, how about you voice them to Kaiser, not me? Addison turns to Van der Weyden, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair armrests tightly. The smile's gone. For a brief moment, the ever-present smile on Van der Weyden's face goes missing, and the expression that replaces it reminds me of a horrifying void. Like a sneak peek into what's really going on in his soul. He quickly collects himself, but the image is burned into my retinas. To think these sorts of unsavory rumors are circulating around me, I should be grateful you let me know. So you're denying it? Of course I'm denying it. Categorically. You can bet your life savings on it. I certainly hope it is nothing more than an unfortunate blunder. It too pretty? Come on, Addison, we've known each other for years. Yes. And what about it? I will... Sweet Jesus. Addison, I will get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Miss Swinsky? Any of the names on the list sound familiar to you? No. I mean, yes, that is my long-estranged child on your list, but that's just another reason why I'm flabbergasted anyone would consider it mine. I see. Well, I hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now. Yes, and I swear to clear my name as soon as possible. Scout's honor. Any more questions? Good for now. Sheriff Alosmai will probably contact you later. I will get in touch with him myself ASAP. Once again, thank you for your work. Extend his hand toward me, practically forcing me to shake it. Then he puts his hand on my shoulder to lead me to the door, all too eager to see me off. Out of sheer curiosity, Mr. Van der Weyden, I have one more question. It may be a bit random. I really didn't need to ask it, but I wanted him to die inside for a moment. Of course, my dear. His slightly strained tone suggests I may have succeeded. Seemed like a person who couldn't live outside of NYC. By chance, have you listened to Howard Stern's talk show after the World Trade Center fell? Tad unsure, but once again carefully controlled chuckle escapes his mouth. Jeez, that is random, but well... New York, born and raised, just as you said. Of course I did. Your opinion? Same as everyone else? Some spiritual guidance we needed that day, coming from the unlikeliest of places. A visceral response that verbalized everything we felt. A beautiful moment of unity. Not that I mean to lowbrow jokes about Pamela Anderson and a typical shock value the show tended to offer, but as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking? No particular reason. Thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are. Well, that's the kind of person I am. Just your average New Yorker. So it seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Payne to your plans of conquering the city. Conquering the... Now that's spicy. Addison, I love this girl. She's gonna go far, I'm telling you. She's got that spunk, that glint in her eye. Don't put spunk in the eyes. Goodbye, Miss Sawinski. I wish you a pleasant respite and a swift success in your investigation. Good night. Make it a point to bow to Addison's servant, not the man himself. Doubt he even noticed, but these invisible displays of rebellion made me feel a little better about myself. Alright. The faster I leave, the better. It's cool. It's cool shit. That's a good scene. Tonight's had some excellent vampire scenes so far. Fucking hell. Julia, Father, how are you holding up? I'm fine. Stumbling around and hoping for a miracle to happen, like always. No better place than to ask for a miracle behind these gates, you know. So I hear. Said passing the report about Aisling and Agathon. I look around, but Benoit is nowhere to be seen. Where's Benoit? So, where's that clown? You mean Benoit? You're the one who said it, not me. In another parish, taking care of a personal issue for me. Thought you might appreciate that. God, I really do. Listen, can't you think of something to placate him? Placate him how, exactly? Benoit won't accept anything less than me joining a convent. Convent. Convent? Convent. It's like a worried parent. A basic gesture here and there, showing up in church from time to time, pretending to listen would get him off your case. Oof. Yeah, I know, buddy. I mean, I've been through this song and dance before with my own worried parents when I was a teenager. Wandering in the forest until Mass was over, not even being able to smoke because I'd pick up the scent. Not the best moments of my life, you know. And part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I don't need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie. I'm not asking you to lie, Julia. Let me ask you this way. Are you a spiritual person? I guess I am. Kind of. Always was. Suddenly being able to see ghosts did not change a thing. I think it's mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me somehow. You are, and you were raised Catholic, so why can't you find a way to express that spirituality in our church? I don't see a way right now. Why is that? I sigh. Too many people who think my soul needs to be saved because I live with a woman, for starters. I don't know, there's a lot of reasons. Like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman whose faith seems to be actually genuine. Take that from the top. Like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman whose faith seems to actually be genuine. That one sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people. In theory. But back in the old country, I've heard my share of homilies that felt like complete condemnations of my kind, and none that would condemn hate towards people like me. And you know, when church-adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every few months, some minimal support would be appreciated. Sorry, all you can count on is silent complicity. I get it. I know there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but listen, I don't even want to talk about it. I fucking hate the tone I use when I talk about it. I sound preachier than those preachers, and my biggest dream is just not to give a shit. But I remember things. This guy about, like the story about a guy from my hometown. Most macho guy around, with a jaw you could sharpen a knife on. He became an actor in Warsaw. Very successful, deservedly so. Capital might not be NYC, but it's still a big city, and big cities go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In his case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of openly queer people, played one even, so he thought he had a chance at making it work. So he goes back to his town and he tells everyone he's going to live his truth. His dad, a ruling party adjacent businessman, curses him. His uncle takes him into the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. It's so bad he gets put into the ICU. His face and jaw get ruined for good. One moment. Hold on. I'm doing a thing. We're not forgetting. VOD note. 1 hour, 12 minute. Homophobia. LGBT hate crime. I didn't expect that to come up. I'm sorry that it did. It is part of this narrative, and this sort of awful shit happens, but no one should walk into it unwarned if they have a way of knowing, okay? I'll make sure that goes in the VOD. Fast forward a year or two. With his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house. With no other path to follow, he turns to God. He tells him to forgive his kin. Everything is fine again. Angelic choirs sing of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man sits in the front row of a church, a disfigured smile on his face. But that story alone didn't drive me away. One time, when I saw how blissful he was, I could swear he was actually able to hear God whispering to him. He looked like a saint. Fucked me up so bad, I left. I feel nauseated now. Maybe I'm still reeling from hearing about Cara and Jesse Montgomery. Now, if we could never talk about it again, that'd be great. I know that I tend to sound like a loser who loves to pontificate about shit I can't change, but I at least keep trying to change myself, damn it. I won't offer empty platitudes, but I think I understand what I was meant to understand. I hope I haven't insulted you in any way. Whatever. I've learned not to hold people responsible for what the rest of their organization is doing. It would be hard looking in the mirror otherwise. Not that there's much I could see in the mirror right now. I'm just wondering about one thing. There was always a cross on your chest. I like how it goes in my outfit. Is it just a fashionable accessory to you? It's something more. It's a memento reminding me of a broken promise, that's all. I won't inquire further. Good. Have a good night, Father. That's a lot. I find her sitting in bed, scrolling through Pinterest on her phone. I don't know why it does that. So how are you doing, detective? I fall on the bed, bury my face in the pillows, and scream. Not bad, huh? I don't want to tell her about Double Spiral. I still have to figure out how I feel about it. I'm just not cut out for this. Oh, shut up. If you aren't, who is? Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot. Why does the name keep coming up? I can't fucking say it. Columbo, Mads Mikkelsen's boyfriend from Hannibal, whatever his name is. Will Graham. I don't know. Someone who can actually put two and two together. You can't fool me into believing you're incompetent, you dumbass. I've read your articles. Don't pretend you suddenly forgot how to do your job. I haven't, but I've got no evidence, no witnesses, no promising leads, nothing. I just stumbled around assuming things, talking big. Bleh. So you're like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, and he actually solved his case. And then wished he never took it up. Was that supposed to cheer me up? I'm just saying that the situation you're in sounds an awful lot like Chinatown. Depraved elites, big plans for the city, blah blah blah. Yeah, and that's depressing. Yeah, that's what it is. I just think you should approach it this way and look for a solution to your problems outside of the box. Not as a mystery, but maybe like a trap to escape? Yeah, maybe. I throw myself on the bed again, lie there for a bit, staring at the ceiling. Then I approach Dakota from behind and tug her sleeve to draw her attention. Psst. Hey. Put the phone away. No? Come on, Jules, we can't do this every night. I've got my own work. I need to worry about anemia. You said so yourself. Besides, I was just looking for inspiration. Rub against her clothes with my face like a cat. You're impossible. Haven't you noticed what's going on in the news? People are going absolutely insane about this virus, cancelling trips and orders and... Pretty please? I can't, honey. I have to replenish my stash, and besides, I'm worried about overuse. My brain is working a bit too slow, my balance is off, and I was just thinking about how I miss meditation. She's giving me clear signals that she just wants an excuse, and even though it would be the responsible thing to do, I know she's insatiable. She's usually the one who takes the initiative. Let's try a final push. Vampires are monsters. They are romantic, beautiful monsters with emotions. They are monsters. That doesn't mean they're all bad. But they do things you might disagree with morally. I like reading this. I couldn't do this myself. Yeah, so do people. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But putting it into a metaphor of a vampire, perhaps make it a little bit more exciting, a little bit easier to watch them do things that you know you can't or shouldn't do yourself. But God, isn't it nice to watch? To read about, to imagine, to put yourself in for just a minute. Werewolf stories are about freedom. I bite her ear and whisper in it. No drugs tonight. Let's do this raw. She throws her hands up in the air. Victory. Jesus, you're greedy these days. Always have been. Haven't you noticed? I'm an enabler too. Emma may have the title. Very proud of her work, but I get to do it too. I get to enjoy it. Oh, you're up early. Yeah, I told you I got work to do. Ah. I keep myself under more restraint. I also say that werewolf stories are about waking up, like horror. If there's a personal horror story about werewolf, it's about waking up and realizing what you've done afterwards. The shame and anger at yourself and disappointment you feel the morning after a bender, when you wake up and you have to go through and figure out what you've done. Oh, you may have had very good reasons in the moment. But how do you explain to the people you've accidentally hurt? But we're playing vampire. Yeah, told you. Got work to do. I stretch. That's admirable. Reminds me of that one quote you always used to throw around. A lot of people say you can't smoke dope and get drunk when you got kids, but that's not true. You can. You still got to get up in the morning. That's being responsible. That's the one. I never understood why it was so hilarious to you. Neither did I. I just accepted the mystery and made it my personal credo. I'm a responsible person. You planning to have kids? Not in a million years. By the way, you've got mail. An envelope by the door. It's from Kadir. Inside is a message saying he won't be able to make it tonight, but we'll rendezvous tomorrow to meet D'Angelo. He wants me to lay low until then, and to stay in this apartment if possible. Apparently nobody knows where Tamika is. They only know she's in trouble, and he doesn't want me near it. Well, what is it? Sorry, it's the top secret. Shit, almost caught myself putting you at risk. Phew. Anyway, I should get going. It would be fun to spend more time together, you know. Dakota, you know this is important to me. I know, but I'd like to know I'm important to you as well. That makes two of us. Just a few more days. I will find the killer, kick his ass, get a promotion, and we'll do something we'd never done before. Like what? Good question. I'll, think of something. For now, catch up with your work. I need to get going. Fine. Good luck. Stay safe. You know it. This place is weirdly empty tonight. Oh well. We'll have the usual. Feel there's a big what are we doing in this relationship talk coming if I don't change my ways. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that hasn't already happened, but most of the time Dakota has seemed happy enough just listening to the stories of my unlife. Even if it's all boring and normal to me, it's exotic and engrossing to her. Guess I have that going for me. Oh well. I have no idea what to do tonight, so I'll just do the obvious thing and wing it. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. Well, however it went. Time to lose myself in these busy streets and pray that the answers I'm looking for are out there. If they're not, maybe I'll at least find some amusement or blood instead. Prince of Cats. I need to resolve this thing with Dakota, as if going around in circles on behalf of the court wasn't stressful enough. Maybe a visit to some quiet neighborhood would help clear my head. There it is. A distinct vibe of Manhattan's residential area. And an unmistakable scent of casserole enveloping the surroundings and a heavenly aura. The atmosphere of desolation makes it feel more like purgatory, though. There's not a single soul in sight, and... crap! Looks like I'm not alone after all. Some guy exerts himself climbing a nearby tree. Instinctively take a step into the shadows to remain outside his line of sight, but I can barely see anything from where I stand. Stay low. Better to curb my voyeuristic impulses and keep my head down. For a good while, all I can hear is heavy panting. Come on, dude. This oak isn't even that tall. Sure looks like it's the first time the guy ever tried climbing a tree. It's a long time for the mysterious trespasser to steady his breath and carry on. This distance I could barely discern his features. He sizes up one of the longer branches. Seems sturdy enough, and he nearly reaches a narrow window on the second floor. Still, the guy's head is hesitant. Alrighty, no biggie. Just eyes on the prize. He moves a few steps along the branch, his feet slipping every other step on the way to the window. With some inexplicable fluke, he manages to keep his balance. Once he makes it far enough, the branch slowly bends under his weight. He kneels down, probably calculating his chances to make it over to the windowsill. My guy, if you pull this off, it will be a legit miracle. Can't help but cheer him on. The trespasser scouts his surroundings one last time, making sure no one can see him. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out what looks like a marble, and zeroes in on the window. Okay, here we go, here we go. He tosses the marble with the grace of a baseball pitcher. The clink of the glass is subtle, but it proves effective enough to alert whoever lives inside. A few seconds later, the window opens with the creak of a wooden frame, followed by the muffled but undeniably happy voice of the girl inside. Prince, how did you... I told you this is too dangerous. My dad... Oh, fuck him. You can't let him make this choice for us. You know how I feel about you, don't you? I do, but... Just let me in, baby. I promise we'll figure something out. Alright, just come in quickly. And just like that, Prince throws away all of his doubt and eagerly jumps inside, straight into the arms of his forbidden lover. Actually makes me smile. My peeping eyes scores another victory. What a story. Heartwarming, nostalgic. It's just too bad it's too cliche to steal from my writing. What, Julia, you don't write anymore? Yeah, but it's not like you can simply stop thinking like a writer. Yeah, gotta use that energy elsewhere somehow. But for now, let's just start heading downtown. All of a sudden, the world ends. Everything stops. I'm lost in the darkness, and there's not even a heartbeat to guide me. It's like sleep paralysis, except it feels as if I suddenly woke up from reality instead of a dream. Instinctively, I react to it the same way I used to react whenever I woke up in the middle of the night, aware but not able to move or speak. I just wait for it to pass. But instead of slowly regaining control, I just see a bizarre room emerge from the darkness. Just look at her, flesh refusing its fate. Is it? It is not the one you were looking for, is it? He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before the shearers, he did not open his mouth. There is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks. For God, all that turned aside together, they have become useless. If anyone curses his father or mother, he must be put to death. Raging waves of the sea foaming up their own shame-wandering stars, for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And in these days shall man seek death, and find not it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Whenever I become one with the darkness, there's always this nagging fear that it might become impossible to become the normal me again. Instead of the shadows returning to normal, I will let my consciousness be dragged somewhere else. Somewhere beyond the worlds. Somewhere like this, wherever this is. This is the first time that fear has come true. Are you afraid? It's a bad idea to answer. Don't do it. Yes. Excellent. 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 I think I need to sit in this chair. I think I need to sit in this chair. Love it when games do this. Sit in this chair. I sit in the chair. Still in the lean years and unworthy of joining the rest. However, the path is open. It is a path of obligation, liability, a debt that will be repaid one day. When she asks you what you brought here, let your response be a scent of death. Suddenly, I feel my mind beginning to drift away from here. I'm slowly starting to regain control over my thoughts. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Fine, think whatever you want. find myself in a dark corner, leaning against a wet, cold brick wall. I think I'm conscious again, back from wherever it was, awake, but in an unfamiliar place. Well, let's just hope it's still in New York City. I emerge from the shadows to see where I am. A source of light above my head momentarily blinds me, causing me to instinctively raise my hand. As I do, I hit some sort of garbage bag with my hand. It falls to the floor, letting loose a metallic din. What the fuck? A woman. I feel her hand grabbing my clothes. She brutally drags me closer. With one of my hands already above my head, I raise the other. Easy, peace. I mean no harm. How long have you been here? I don't know. I got no idea what I'm doing here, or in general, really. It's like sometimes the forces I control figure out how to control me. What? Are you a junkie? No. You're kindred. Yeah. Keep your shit together, damn it! I'm Julia Sawinski, the representative of the La Sombre in New York City. Camarilla? Uh-huh. I'm a Camarilla investigator. Well, if you came here to catch me, you're going to be sorry you tried, Miss La Sombra. No. Just stop right there. It wasn't in order to catch anybody. I'm just investigating Douglas Callahan's death. You're giving away so much right now, Julia. This surprises her. She loosens her grip slightly. Callahan is dead? Nothing left but a rotted carcass and a musty robe. I'll be damned. I've been off the grid for too long. What brought you here? Memory from a different world pops up in my head. Yeah, I think I know the right answer. A scent of death. She lets me go. I rub my eyes and finally get a good look at her face. She's gorgeous. Judging by her nomadic clothes and a particularly fierce aura, she's probably an outlander. What is that? Clan Gangrel. Yeah, cool. Cool shit. We'll have a talk, you and I. Sure. What's your name? Tamika. Pass me a smoke, will you? If only it could, my heart would skip a beat right now. Tamika, I guess. Once again, someone out there led me to the proper path. Yeah, sure. When I pass her a cigarette, I realize I'm standing in something wet. Something that smells tasty. Look at my feet. See a puddle of water mixed with blood. Oh, I get it. Were these guys First Light? High-powered guns and expensive-looking outfits, flashbangs, tasers, all chosen specifically to combat the undead. I recognize that equipment from some horror stories I've heard. First Light, SI, USOCOM, whatever they call themselves, they all bleed out the same, usually before I have the chance to ask them a single question. Government-funded inquisitors. Some claim they're connected to the US government, some claim they're supported by anti-kindred faction in the Holy See. Some have even wilder theories. You did all this by yourself? Have you seriously seen nothing? Nothing at all? I shake my head. Believe it or not, I have no idea how I got here. I just kind of let the shadows guide me. That little somber thing, I've never actually talked to any of you. No idea what you guys can actually do. Still learning the ropes myself. Go with the flow and all. My embrace was just a few months ago. Huh. So you folks with the Ivory Tower now. Last I heard, you were the Sabbath. The Cammies wouldn't forgive all the trouble you've caused them overnight. Again, I'm still practically a neonate. I just know that there's a lot of bad blood between my clan and the others, and I could expect at least one glare of pure contempt whenever I visit Elysium. Yeah, I see. We spoke in silence for a short while. Is there a large SI presence in NYC? The Kindred are classified as a terrorist presence. There's no other American city that was hit as hard by terrorism as this one. All secret agencies need symbolic victories. You do the math. They're still taking these guys on here, of all places. As you can see all around you. Aren't they extremely dangerous? Almost got me good last year. Took me a few weeks to get back in action. Then why are you doing this? Those motherfuckers have an unfortunate tendency to hurt people I care about. My brothers, my sisters. I see. I don't know what it is in other cities, but here, funnily enough, they only seem to target marginalized and radicalized kindred, ones who could theoretically pose a threat to the current order. Meanwhile, the establishment in New York City hasn't really changed ever since Calibros stepped down. Quite the opposite. Every SI city raid in this city has only strengthened the old paradigm. Almost makes you think that their goal is something other than protecting the citizens from the blank body menace. Hamika throws his cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and crushes it under her heel. My friends, it is break time. We will continue this in 15 minutes. I need to rest my jaw. So much talking. But it has been enjoyable. All right, friendos, gonna hit break time. Be back in 15. Remember to stretch if you can, or if you want. It's good for the body if you can manage it. I'll be back. So, Jimbles, what cocktail did you make? None. I sat on the couch with my eyes closed and ate Maltesers. Glamorous life of a streamer, baby. I sat down on the couch and immediately got real tired, which is very funny, because you saw me drink that huge coffee. It was decaf, because I want to sleep tonight. Emma asking, hey, are you running out of decaf? And I'm like, no, I got lots. I don't drink it that much. Might drink it more. It's instant coffee. I don't expect it to be good. When I pull out the beans and grind it myself, that's when we're having good coffee. That's why when people come over to my house and they enjoy coffee, I make that coffee for them. I don't feed them instant. Tamika throws her cigarette into the puddle, unfinished, and crushes it under her heel. She obviously has difficulty smoking. It's like she only ever tried it a few times. I assume she saw me carrying a pack and decided to try it to calm her nerves after the battle. Maybe she just wanted an excuse to make our conversation less awkward. Who knows? So you playing a snitch on me, Shadow Girl? Why would I do that? Let me get this straight. You really think I'm dumb enough to believe for just 1 second that a Camarilla investigator would just so happen to stumble upon the alley where I just killed a bunch of SI motherfuckers? If so, you're the one who's dumb, sister. I don't care if you think I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I don't care about SI, and I don't care if you believe it was a happy accident and I met you, especially considering not even the sheriff knows where you are. But I care about solving the mystery of Callahan's death, and as it happens, you're one of the pieces of the puzzle. What? What are you talking about? I found this on his body. Well, what remained of it. I show her the note. She tries to grab it to read it, but I don't let her. Aside from your name, we've got Hope, Agathon, and D'Angelo. You know? Passingly? Any idea why Callahan would need a list of all of your names? I might know why. Yeah? Do you? Absolutely. Do you know a man by do you know a man going by the name of Talk? Huh. Of course I do. Do you know about his connection to the boss Callahan, and by proxy to this list, and me? No. I'm all ears. Well, too bad, because it's classified intel, sister. What do you mean by classified? Not free. Oh, great. As if I were in the position to, or could afford to, any sort of quid pro quo. But fine, let's hear it. What do you want? Emotions toward the bodies. I've killed too many of these assholes. They're tightening the screws. As it is, New York City is no longer safe for someone like me. Well, not that it ever was. Oh man, bracing for something unreasonable. What I need is a way out of the city. You offer that to me, I give you the intel you need. Huh. Would you? Look at that. That's something I can handle, actually, yeah. She raises her eyebrows. That's a surprisingly confident answer for a practically still a neonate. I'm something of an immigration officer. Gotta say, you sound awfully close to a cop. Almost as bad. A bureaucrat. I know of a secret pathway that would lead you to the West Coast. 100% safe travel, and if you took it, you'd be untraceable. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Wait until you see how much it costs. The only reason I know this route is because a certain Nosferatu criminal group reached out to me on account of my position and offered a mutually beneficial deal regarding illegal kindred travel. Normally I'd refuse, but they offered me the only thing that can buy me. A lot of cash. Fine then. Money's not an issue. Now that's something I never had a chance to say in earnest. Okay then. You should assist me first. Then we'll figure out how to transport you out of the city. Hell no. Is this really the extent of your negotiation skills? Why would you think this kind of line would work? I didn't. Just don't think either of us trust the other enough to afford the benefit of the doubt. It's an impasse. That is true. Let me think. She's lost in her thoughts for a moment, then speaks up. Have you met Talk before in the course of the investigation, or before? I wanted to, but on the Anarch side, I only managed to meet Mia. She wasn't keen on the idea of the two of us meeting. Ah, yeah, Mia. Her expression betrays that she's got some vicious stories to tell, but it would be beneath her to divulge them. Too bad. Maybe it could be a bonding experience. Here's the thing. A few months ago, Talk and I were together. A lot of things happened, long story short, I no longer feel close to him, but from what I know, he still feels close to me. Back when I thought there might be something between us, I gave him a ring that has a lot of sentimental value to me. And since these days sentimentality is all that keeps me going, I want it back. So my suggestion is, tell Talk's people I sent you to get inside his base of operations, meet up with him, ask him your questions, and convince him to give me my ring back. You get to interrogate him, then I get to have my ring back, you get to hear my side of the story, and then I get to leave the city with your help. Everybody wins, more than once. They will really let me in just because I tell them you sent me? They will. Trust me. Sounds too easy. What caused the two of you to drift apart? Irreconcilable differences in worldview. Well, I assume so, but that's the diplomatic answer. If I'm going to involve myself in the relationship drama of two ex-lovers, I'll need something more to go on. Will you? Yeah. She picks her words carefully. I've realized that I have become an element of his perfectly crafted, projected image. Having me as a radical partner allowed him to present himself as a mediator while paying lip service to revolutionary ideas. Mediator. That's the 21st century for you. Everyone wants to be a middleman these days, and nobody wants to do what's right. You serious? Whenever I hear about Talk from the Ancilla, they talk about him like he's the second coming of Mao. You ever seen that? It's only because from time to time people like me push him to doing an uneasy thing. Ever heard of the Southern Wolf and the Northern Fox? Both of them want to eat you for dinner, but only the Southern Wolf makes it immediately obvious. The tricky Northern Wolf makes eyes and allows you to pet him before taking a bite. Talk loves to surround himself with Northern Foxes. They talk of compromises. They seem the reasonable compared to the opposition, but at the end of the day, they have eyes on the same prize. Power. Hearing this gives me a foreboding feeling, but I can't nail down why. Alright, tell me where to go and I'll tell you where we'll meet later. Just chilling at Talks. And suddenly, a shrill, loud voice pierces my eardrums. What the hell are you doing here? Oh yeah, it's a busy lady from Talks Inner Circles. I'm here to see Talk. Figured as much. Should have gone through security first. Get out! What if he tells me to stay? Fat chance. Move your ass before I bust you out. Mia! It's okay. There he is, walking through the door. One of the most infamous New York City barons, or as some people started calling him the moment Callahan met his end, the Baron of New York City. Talk, we talked about this. The situation is a little bit different now. Tamika said her. What bullshit? I wasn't able to track her down for weeks. Well, I did. This is a reason to celebrate, not to get mad. No. You allowed the two of us a private conversation? No way. I want to keep an eye on her. You will keep an eye on the exit and that will be enough. Please. Puts on his best authoritative tone and it works. No protests this time. Mia leaves the room. Sorry about her. She could be overzealous, but usually that's not a bad thing. Yeah, sure. So she told you I've been trying to reach you for a few nights? I don't think so. Have you? Well, the dumbass the court ordered to investigate Callahan's final death, so considering your connection to the case, I thought it would be prudent for us to talk. Ah, so that's you. Yeah. Now, I know you're probably anxious to hear about Tamika. I'm surprised to hear you two know each other. I actually met through this investigation. Anyway, as I was saying, I know you probably can't wait to hear about her. But I'd like to ask you a few questions first. I understand. Do your job. Do you know Douglas Callahan? Of course I did. We were both barons. Kept having professional obligations to meet each other, but that was all. What was your private opinion of him? Same as everyone else's. A racist clown, mentally stuck in the 19th century, who spent way too much time keeping the anarchs down. I'm glad he's gone. You mean you're glad he's met final death? You know what they say. I had to see it go, love to watch it leave. When you're the first kindred who saw his corpse. It was, but it was his ghouls who found him. By the way, we've established that some of the tamper of the crime scene, they were properly disciplined for that. Convenient story. Let's move on. What's your alibi for that night? None. I was running around town at home tie night, taking care of various issues, unrelated to Callahan, but I don't intend to divulge them to someone from the Ivory Tower. So you have no interest in proving yourself innocent. My official position was made clear. It's the Camarilla who are to blame. It's your job to prove me wrong. Cool, Mark. At least for once I can face a problem that can be solved with pure logic, not politics. Any findings on your side I should know of? Ask me. She's the one who handled the murder scene. I'm not privy to all the details. Hope, D'Angelo, Agathon. Any idea who these people are? Can't recall. Sorry. The evidence I found suggests a potential link between Callahan and Tamika. Any clue? I knew both of them well, but as far as I know, they've never met. That's it. Oh, well. I'm sure what I expected. He's the kind of guy who could only be pushed to talk if I had something concrete to push him with. Time to move on. Well, regarding Tamika, finally. I'll cut straight to the chase. She wanted to inform you that she will be skipping town for a while. The SI is hot on her trail, and she needs to lose them ASAP. Oh, I've told her countless times, if she's in danger, I will always be there for her. Does she think she can find a secure way out of the city in this situation? She's safe. So you say. She's got some other friends in high places. She'll manage to get out. Gotta admit, that's not what I expected to hear, or what I wanted to hear. Why did she decide to contact me? She wants her ring back. His aura changes in the blink of an eye. Ah. Yeah, I see now. That's why she didn't show up herself. Wouldn't even face me when delivering the final insult. Looks like I stepped on a landmine. She said the ring was a symbol of the trust she put in me. No way in hell I'm going to give it away. Not until she gives me the chance to explain myself. I need that ring to get Tamika to talk, but with the way he's acting, it doesn't seem likely he'd be willing to part with it. Might require me to act shitty, but maybe time to change my approach. No. Be brutally honest. Fuck it. Here we go. Listen, you're obviously the hottest new thing in town. People like you, people follow you. You're set to be the anarch people think of when they think of New York City. Good for you. You're obviously way behind them when it comes to understanding relationships. Tamika gave it a serious try. She understood her path. She understood yours. She realized they're diametrically opposed. And that's that. You're not going to change her mind by acting like a toxic shithead and forcing her to come grovel at your feet if she wants to get back something that has a great sentimental value to her. You want to earn her trust again? Don't act like a power-tripping arsehole. Show her that you're capable of responding to her concerns and that you're capable of being selfless. It's the only thing you can do to change her mind. Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Ah, fuck me and my big mouth. Ugh. He approaches the door and throws it wide open. Mia! Yeah, boss? We're done here. Had to lead the lady out as quickly as possible. Yes, boss. I have a lot of things I'd say to describe his behavior, but I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident. No need. I'm gone. Thank you for your time. Tell her I'll show her she's wrong. Tell her I will prove myself worthy of that ring if it's the last thing I do. Whatever. Ooh, I let myself be led out of the building by Mia. Another mission failed. Time to meet Tamika and tell her the bad news. Find her already waiting in front of the Jewish Museum. How'd it go? Let me put it this way, I'm not surprised you dumped him. So you did not succeed. No, he got mad and started yelling about how he will yet prove himself to be worthy of that gift. Then he ran me out of the building. She trying to stop herself from laughing? What's so funny? Nothing. I'll be honest, I kind of expected that. It's just nice to have a definite confirmation is still a bit of a toxic asshole, that's all. Yeah, well, glad I fell for the oldest trick in the book. Would be cool if, for once, Encoded telling me to do one thing didn't mean another thing entirely. Oh, don't be mad. I just wanted to be sure of something, and now I am. As far as I'm concerned, you kept your end of the bargain. It's time I repay the favor. Last year, a certain fledgling appeared in the city and attempted to build a coterie. That list you found on Callahan, that's the list they got. They contacted each of us and found themselves in deep shit. Aside, Kaiser, Sophie Langley, some shadow players manipulating everything from behind the scenes, and they disappeared. Kaiser, that name popping up once again, it can't be a coincidence. No one knows where or why. Doesn't really matter. That happens when you punch way above your weight. Hope they're doing fine, despite all odds. In any case, Torque got involved too. That's how I met him, actually. He got hurt. Doesn't want to say how. Claimed it could put anyone who knew in danger. Whatever happened, it gave him the drive and the desire for change. For 2 months, he was beautiful kindred, plain and simple. Suddenly, something snapped in him overnight. His tone mellowed out. His actions became timid. His language became more befitting of a political science student than a charismatic leader. I assume he met someone who made him an offer he couldn't refuse, but I have no idea who that was. And one night I followed him when he went out. I saw him scheming at the docks with Callahan. When he came back, we had an argument. When he refused to explain himself, I knew I was on my way out. And that was that. I understand. Wish I'd known that earlier. I might have confronted the facts with him and learned something more. He never told me of all kindred. What makes you think he would have told you? Just got a point, I suppose. All right. Thank you. Now it's my turn. Here is your way out. Point at the manhole below our feet. Here's a map of the sewers. Follow the route, then burn it. If you're looking for a one-eyed Nosferatu wearing tactical gear, tell him I sent you, then give him the agreed-upon amount of money. What kind of route will I be taking anyway? An armored van full of precious coffins. My man knows how to arrange them to allow for unnoticed extra cargo. The face darkens. The circulatory system. What did you expect? Rich and powerful always get the blood they want, one way or another. At least tonight, one of their roots will be used for something good. He drops their shoulders in resignation and opens up the manhole cover. Fine. But remember, if it doesn't work, I'll be back at your doorstep with vengeance if it's the last thing I do. I'm sure it'll work out fine. Just beware of a giant albino ghoul alligator while you're down there. Tamika rolls her eyes. Super ghoul alligator. For your information, it's just a story New York kindred tell neonates to mess with them while they're still gullible enough to believe everything they hear about their new world. Oh, that makes sense, I suppose. This is goodbye. If in a few months you hear that the First Light presence in Los Angeles has been decimated, assuming that against all odds I'm still unalive and kicking. If you keep killing indiscriminately, you might cross the line of no return, you know. Shouldn't you take it easy for a while? Not until my brothers and sisters in blood stop being slaughtered. I care about what's left of my humanity, but turning a blind eye on kindred need would be even less human. That's the kind of person she is, and probably will be, until the very end. It must be comforting in a way, to know how your path will end, yet to follow it all the same. I could never do that. Here's some parting advice from you. We might be monsters, but we were lucky enough to be born into a world that's even more monstrous than we are. If we rebel against it, we might still find salvation. If only I could believe it. Didn't expect a preaching tone. Why are you telling me this? Because I think I have a pretty good nose for people's auras. When I get a good look at you, smell the possibility that you'll give in to the fear of the dark visions of the future you've conjured in your own head. It's not much. It's just a hunch. You seem prone to giving in to the Camarilla's empty promises of safety and the petit bourgeois values. Bourgeoisie values. I think I should take offense to that. I hope you do. That would reflect on you well. In any case, whatever happens, see you in your next life, Julia. Safe travels, Tamika. I skipped tonight's visit to the church. I'm not in the mood to see Benoit. I'm still embarrassed about yesterday's outburst. I'm kind of pissed none of the clan elders in Chicago bothered to reply to any of my fucking reports. No advice, no feedback, nothing. I feel like I was left utterly alone. Besides, it's late. I always get back to the apartment early in the morning, right before it gets bright. It's getting risky to be out here so close to sunrise. Accidents can happen. Try to get back early tomorrow night. Attempt to surprise Dakota. Yeah. I'm back. Yay. How was work? All caught up? Yeah, I managed to get my deadlines postponed. All our clients are cancelling and delaying orders left and right. Huh. Does that mean you'll have time to help me with my makeup tomorrow? We'll see. Perfect. Alright, I need to disappear before the sun catches up with me. Hey. Yeah? I love you. Oh. An uneasy silence fills the room. I'm not getting out of this one, am I? No, I have to. I didn't lie to the Baron of New York City tonight, so I'm not going to lie to her. I know. She flashes a sad, forced smile as I leave to rest. Oh, fuck my heart. That's awful. Finally reached Big Beat Burger, hoping to recuperate from all the mental damage accumulated over the past few days. Later find out the doors are locked and nobody's inside. No, I need to be soothed. I need my routine. Absolutely got to be kidding me. Closed? What the fuck do you mean closed? I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Everything's closed. Pandemic? What pandemic? Do you live under a fucking rock? It's a new SARS virus straight from China. The whole world is going crazy over it. People are dying left and right. Holy shit. I didn't know something like this could still happen in this day and age. Somehow it always felt like we were beyond it. I guess it's lucky I'm dead. Walk away to avoid bringing more attention to myself. Now I understand why New York City feels downright apocalyptic tonight. It's like a psychedelic experience to see these familiar streets empty and abandoned. Well, let's see what parts of the city are still alive in the middle of a plague. Let's try this. Familiar smile. It took just 2 days for the city to go all the last man on Earth. I probably won't have a better chance to soak in the atmosphere. Someone asked me right at this moment how to define the meaning of the word eerie. I look them straight in the eye and say, just take a look around, idiot. With the exception of a few stray dogs, there is no one around to ask. This is the New York I've come to know. I can't help but perceive it as artificial. Real, but with an uncanny apocalyptic quality, like a citywide roleplay of some trashy post-apo flick. Like I was Will Smith in I Am Legend. Hell, it's probably the first time anybody has thought of I Am Legend in the last 10 years. The film version, anyway. Keep walking the empty streets until suddenly... Hey, Julia! Julia! The streets reveal themselves as less empty than I previously thought. Charlie. Been a long time. Julia, why are you so stupid? Wow. That's not the line I'd choose to open a touching reunion with. Last time we met, he was working at Karma Circle, one of those vegan places that pride themselves on hiring workers with disability. Went there for the first time 2 years ago with Dakota. Charles, he was our waiter. He heard us arguing about something stupid and rushed to Dakota's defense. And in Charlie's mind, the best defense is a merciless offense. He roasted by formal clothes, silly mannerisms, general behavior, and specific arguments so ruthlessly Dakota had a 10-minute long laughing fit. The manager overheard him and apologized. But I didn't mind. I've always liked underdogs who can stand their ground. We even became online friends so we could just roast each other on Messenger. And he could do that using emojis alone. People are getting sick. You're irresponsible. I need to take you home. Just headed there, Charlie. No need to worry about me. But I was worried. You never answer my messages these days. Yeah, that's not exactly an option right now, is it? Especially during the day. You have to contact me and you need to do it through Dakota. I've decided not to use smartphones anymore. You know, to keep my head clearer and all. I think I just got tired of breaking them. They're always so clumsy. Your screen was always cracked. You're always thinking a lot while your hands are doing something stupid. As I said, ruthless. And is Dakota good? You two still gal pals? We are. We are very good gal pals. That's good. You're not practical. You are a mess girl. You need someone close to take care of you. Come on, said the guy who still lives with his mum. Yep, we're the same. That's how I know. Says that with such an innocent smile and so much conviction. I feel thoroughly owned. No use fighting back. No use fighting back. Switching to sincerity mode. It's just that... Don't tell her this, but I'm not sure if we're making each other happy, and that worries me, like, a lot, you know? Huh. That's because you're being stupid. Hey, I'm being honest now, don't be mean. I didn't say you're stupid, but that you're being stupid. There's a difference. Guess that's something your mum says all the time, huh? When you're in your head for too long, you always trip over a glass of water or break your phone. That's when they call you stupid. When you argue or when you joke, that's good. That's progress. You're a philosopher now, actually? I guess. See? You're not stupid. You get it. Oh, yeah. You still a journalist? Me? No, they fired me. Good. Good? Seriously? Yeah, Mum reads Lodestar sometimes. Says it was trash. I'm happy you're not trash. Thank you, that means a lot. And how's Karma Circle? You still working there? No, they fired me. Oh. That's mean. Because of the virus? Dunno, there's a new boss. A stupid guy. Doesn't like me. Hope he didn't call him stupid to his face. He throws me an impish side glance and moves his eyebrows up and down with comedic timing. But I did. I snort uncontrollably. Shit, Charlie, you're unbelievable. How's your mum? She's sick. Doesn't want me to come by her room. She sent me out to the pharmacy to get her medicine, you know. Fuck, I hope it's not serious. It's stupid. We have to take care of each other, but we can't even see each other, you know? I feel like trash wanting to complain about my own troubles. You doing good? Yes, I'm strong. He poses like a macho man. I laugh. You stay strong too, Julia, and write something from time to time. No promises. Hey, if I'm forced to be an Arthur to Dakota and we stop being gal pals, will you forgive me? Let me think. An exaggerated think I pose. I swear, this dude... No. He turns away and disappears into the night. I swear, I don't know how to handle this guy. He always has to have the final word. Even against a vampire. It's probably why I respect him so much. Oh well. Time to follow suit and make myself scarce. The time comes for me to meet up with Kadir and hopefully D'Angelo too. Last position on my list. This better be good. And that is D'Angelo's agency. Looks like a dump. Blah. Perfect for the clan of the hidden. Thought he wasn't hidden. I thought he was missing. To be honest, I kind of expected the worst. Why would we look for him in the most obvious place? I've been asking around and I've got a hunch. Just trust it and start looking. Fine. Who is D'Angelo, anyway? He's a good man, a useful man. It took me time to get used to him. He takes sleuthing very, very seriously. His thing is acting like an idiosyncratic noir detective. I heard it helps him cope with something, but I never felt comfortable tackling the subject. Doesn't sound too quirky by the city standards. Wait, what is that? There's a rat on the floor, frozen in an unnatural position. Weird shit. We're not kicking the rat. Examine it. Despite my disgust, I picked the rodent up. That's what being an investigator is all about. Leave no stone unturned. Shut up. This is so gross. What have you found out? Take a close, hard look at the rat. It's alive, but from what I see, he's just stretching out and, like, grinding his teeth without a care in the world? It's called brooksing. What? When a rat chatters its teeth, that's brooksing. He's not acting panicked or aggressive, so I guess he's just happy. Look at his face. I don't know, his eyes keep coming out of his socket and going back in. It looks disgusting, like he's in a lot of pain. So he's boggling. He must really be content. Why does he know so much about it? Never mind, I'm getting an eerie feeling. This is weird, man. I have a feeling there's a kindred here hiding nearby. Weird. My thoughts exactly. Kidia slowly approaches a secluded corner of the room. And there it is. Jimbles says, rolling closer so he can put less weight on his back. He kicks a pile of clothes lying on the floor. I'm just a corpse. Leave me alone. Lucky for you, we're all corpses here, D'Angelo. You're among friends. Clumsily, drunkenly, the pile of clothes transforms into an unkempt man who looks like he's suffering from some sort of skin disease. You know, true friend would just bury me. Unlucky for you, we're not that kind of friends. Lucky, unlucky, schmucky my ass. How'd you guess I was here? See, I've been asking around for the past few days. What I've learned is, for reasons that can best be described as nebulous, you've made quite a few enemies since last year. Yeah, tell me someone I don't know. And the one thing that caught my interest is how everyone has it on good authority that your place was raided a few times without you being found, yet nobody has assumed responsibility for these acts. Well, doesn't this town always look like it was just raided? Can't blame anyone for making an educated assumption. I'd a hunch that these might be more than rumors. See, it looks like a convenient coincidence when everyone hears that something makes them look the other way, and coincidences are for fools. Well, you got my number, and you can see my ugly mug right in front of you, so it's no use playing dumb, I suppose. Agreed. You seriously spend all these weeks holed up in here? Is the hunger not getting to you? Got a lot of critters around this area, and we become chums. Some of these rats actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night, acting like coke hounds, begging for it. I'm getting them drunk just to get some rush out of feeding on them. It's a bit like slathering a horribly burned piece of pizza in ketchup, but in this situation, I take what I can get, you dig? It's so gross, I fail to keep my poker face. He notices. But who's the dame? Julia Sawinski, a detective investigating Baron Callahan's death. He raises his head for a short while to stare in Kidia's eyes and treat him with a vulgar snicker. Phew. So somebody's already finally put the old man on ice. Whoever did it did the world a huge favor. Absolutely, but I got orders to establish who that was, and I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. We need your help. I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really be not up to par if you're begging a bum for help. Fuck. Folks, I'm flagging. We may need to call it at 9:30. We'll see. Not a sleuth. I'm just someone who's forced to act like one. Good for you, kiddo. Good for you. If you stick with this trade in this day and age, you're going to be batty as hell. So why'd the court pick you? What used to be your day job? I was a journalist. Well, I understand then. Private investigator might be a respectable step up. Accidentally lets a metal flask in his hand slip out and fall to the floor, then struggles to pick it up. Kidia can't bear to watch. God, what happened to you, Johnny? I've never seen you this low before. Stress-related disorders causing a disruption in my routine is what I think a shrink would say. Happens when a lot of shady folks are out to put a stake through your chest. Help us out. Tell us what you know, and we might be able to help you in return. Respect where it's due, miss, but I think it's going to be the other way around. I ain't telling the two of you shit, pardon my French, until I know I can count on some protection. Gianni. Don't you Gianni me, Kadir Al-Esmai. I know you're all level, but I also know that your honor is one of the last few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself, you put on the line for me. That's that. You either promise to extend your protection to me, or the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers, and that's the last time you'll ever see me. Kadir shoots me a weary sideways glance. I know. He drives a hard bargain. Especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky-high at the moment. Maybe. But I do value my own life quite a lot, thank you very much, friends. Kadir sighs. Alright, but 3 months from now, or the moment Prince Panhard tells me it's no longer possible for the court to offer you safety without compromising its principles, you're on your own. No negotiations. That's the only deal I can strike with you. Take it or leave it. Angelo scratches his head, grunts loudly, tugs on his mask, and stands up. It's Jake with me, big fella. I might have strong opinions about Panhard, but still I'm sitting on dynamite. I'll take what I can get. Who else in New York would you want to rely on? You want me to call the mayor? My opinions about the prince aren't that bad. So, what do you good folks want from me? Who wants you dead? Starting the interrogation with the tricky one. Wouldn't I like to know? Step up, Gianni. You seem to be forgetting how quid pro quo works. Wouldn't I like to know? Won't cut it. What can I tell you? That warlock, Agathian, or whatever his name is presumed dead. Tamika, MIA with SI in her backs, possibly KIA by now. Hope the cook hidden in her office under Vander Weyden's skirt. Around the time I started having trouble, some rough-looking streetwise kindred started hanging out at my usual spots. Didn't take me long to connect the dots. Wait, what is the connection between you and those three? Ever since last year, folks started hiring us for various gigs, some even trying to get us to join their coteries. All these opportunities were rather short-lived. However, the delicate tightrope of acting for various employers made us fully aware there's an intra-sect alliance in NYC. Kindred for both sides often work the same goals without knowing it. The moment we started figuring it all out, a cleanup crew went downtown. Another serious warlock boy sniffed something out in his own backyard, but then he disappeared. And I lost all contact with Hope and Tamika and went AWOL. Hope they're doing fine. They didn't snitch on me to anybody. Yeah. They didn't even tell me you guys knew each other, so I think you're safe. Wait a second, why are you milking them for intel, kiddo? Got a list of 4 names in Callahan's remains. You can probably guess what they were. I get the picture. Yep, Christ almighty. I heard it was just a list of freelancers, potential associates, probably prepared by Carter Vander Weyden. My money is on him being involved, but I smell bullshit. Have you got any idea who might have done the boss in? Any more clues? Not at all. That's where we want you to come in, my friend. Investigate the murder scene the way only you know how. Tell us what you think. Guide Julia in the proper direction. Yeah, Julia sizes me up, scratching his head. Sure, whatever. I'll try my best, kiddo. Lead the way. I'll drive you there, or at least as close as possible. I wouldn't be welcome that deep in Anarch territory. Just clean yourself up, Gianni. I had my upholstery cleaned earlier this week. After dropping us off at the same place Catherine first introduced me to Mia, Kadir quickly drives away. Here we are. Swell. Classic closed room mystery. Let me take a look. Starts walking around the office, carefully taking in every element. So you're saying him basically a nobody, but you can simply call Catherine Weiss and have her open sesame and Anna crib for you? I'm sure sounds like somebody to me. Don't misunderstand, I only met her during the course of this investigation. Everyone's basically been treating me like dirt wherever I go, and I'm only acknowledged enough to legitimize this sham. Lord Castlereagh. Now that was an abrupt interruption. I was busy sharing, damn it. Excuse me. He's pointing at the painting of the man overseeing this entire office. I met Murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. Seems to have completely switched his modus operandi upon seeing the murder scene. He's in his own little world, and his behavior has become more machine-like, erratic. I still don't follow. Never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era. But then again, I had no idea about his exact age, of course, and maybe that's when he lived, or was born. Anyhow. Pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here? Right. That's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, a British Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 19th century. Incredibly influential. Incredibly hated. Ask one fellow about Castlereagh and he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed Napoleon for good, the man who shaped British politics for ages, the man who built foundations for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fellow, he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform and then supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters. Spouting his facts like a computer, is that the hint of a detective's photographic memory? I have to say it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Definite proof that a victim was sick in the head. As if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him too. Maybe identified with him, even. Yeah, it's possible. Callahan and his ilk adore those jagoffs who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Too bad nobody else ever remembers them well. I feel like I should say something. There's a nagging feeling in the back of my mind. How did he die? Committed suicide in the 1820s. His family took every sharp item away from him, but he was, well, dedicated. Why did he do it? Precious mountain from all sides, deserved hate coming from all sides, plain old overwork. Also might have gone nuts, kept saying he saw ghosts, otherworldly silhouettes were guiding him, yada yada. An unpleasant feeling grows in my stomach. Also, there's a rumor someone was threatening to expose him as homosexual, having to choose between being publicly denounced and ending it all by his own hand. He chose the latter. Well, that's just depressing. Maybe. The silver lining is it couldn't happen to a nicer fellow. Stops above Callahan's corpse and laughs. Posterity will ne'er survey a nobler grave than this. Here lie the bones of Castlereagh. Stop, traveller, and piss. He kicks his bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. Is he still under the influence? Isn't that tampering with a crime scene? As far as I can see, this crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be more ruined than it already has. I agree, but it looked about the same as the last time I was here. And it was already a total mess before you got here. Whatever. Standing by the metal shutters on the windows, he abruptly changes the topic. Lightproof. Have you toyed with these? No. In general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me and I don't like it. I don't like you. They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You think it'd be useful, but it's just a curse. I see. You think these blinds could have been the murder weapon? Yeah, I did wonder about that. Would make sense, wouldn't it? Say for some reason Estef was standing there as the sun was rising, maybe staring at poor old Castlereagh, looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side. Yet another guy pushed to suicide by politics, pretty old school, romantic, yada yada. Maybe it was torpor. Maybe it was a freak accident. Maybe it was premeditated. In any case, sunlight would be a perfect murder weapon, no? Takes off the mask to shoot a disfigured smile my way. That's just a theory, anyway. Well, it sounds sound. Does it? So it's just spitballing. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart. That can easily be done without damage to the skeleton. He sets off with a wink. What is he playing at here? The safe. Anyone made a crack at it yet? As far as I know, only Callahan knew the code, and the safe itself is pretty hard to crack. Watch me, kiddo. Presses a knee to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around. Are you a safe cracker now? When you curse with countenance such as mine, you decide on the job such as mine, you're going to be a jack of all trades. Yeah, but still sounds pretty hard. Last year, there's a random fellow visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. He found a safe that hasn't been opened in 40 years. Not a single specialist, nor even a blacksmith could have handled it. Man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, and attempted the most sensible combinations, and voila! The unthinkable happened. It's just where trusting your instinct gets you. Too bad he found nothing inside but an old pay sheet. Metallic screech. The door's open. I'll be damned. Looks like we got the same case here. Confetti. A few random papers scattered around. But for what it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation. Probably recent, too. Reeks of foul play. But what do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over. Another wink. Another walk in a random direction. Look inside the safe. Quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside the safe and hide it on my person, and close the door so nobody knows he managed to crack it. When I turn around, he's motioning me to come closer to the sheet of paper lying on the desk. So yeah, kiddo, you probably know the whole beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but honestly, anything could have happened here. Read the text is written on the empty page. This place is wired. Gives me chills. I think I'm okay. I tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as noise. He nods and starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on. Best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, then interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on him. Wiretap is a chip in a broken glass bottle on the floor. Absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, the talk of the city. You've finally got an excuse to nab him. I understand. I think I have an idea how to use it to find him. Should I notify Kadir? Scribble, scribble. Takes longer than before. So yeah, I'll be meeting up with Kadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing. Your call, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try and stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, so I can get to relative safety. For sure. It's back into sheriff's custody for me. See you around, Julia. Sorry this old codger couldn't have been more help. Eventually let Kadir know. If I don't contact him in 2 hours, let Kadir know what happened. I'll be going. I've got a plan. Now all I need to execute it is a clueless bystander. This guy will do. So, do you, need me for anything else? Not really. Better take a hike before the guy you just called shows up. I can't guarantee he won't make you hurt. Will do. Puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. I might have messed with his head a little too much using my wily kindred charms, but I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet quite clearly multiple times. Would have given him the kiss as thanks at least, but I told the big man I won't be here all night, and that he'd better hurry up, so I want to be ready whenever he comes. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a fast, sharp turn onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flashback hits me. I know this limo. I've seen it all around over the past few days, but I never thought it might be tailing me. Still, it must have. So looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Doors open and a raspy voice comes from inside. Get the fuck in, Sawinski. I smile and accept the invitation. There he is. Kaiser, the king of New York City's information highway, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kinds. First impression, he's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo was also a sewer rat, and he might have had similar physical disadvantages, but at least he was wholly endearing. This guy has no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanly cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages. You're getting on my nerves, little lady, and I'm far from being the only one. I get the sense he meant for all this to be threatening. Instead, I'm elated. After a week of running around like a headless chicken, unsure if I was getting anywhere, finally I get a compliment. There's one thing I learned back in Lodestar. It was when if there's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, it was that you only know you're doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad. I have no idea what you mean. No need to play dumb, especially considering you're natural. The art hall, double spiral, the SI, Talks Den, has the feel to have made enemies absolutely everywhere. He scoffs at me with pure contempt. Listen, I will speak as plainly as humanly possible to get this through your little head, since it's obvious you're not willing to read the obvious symbols. Signals. You are hired for one thing, and one thing only, little lady, to suck at your job, and you couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week, telling me, Kaiser, dear Kaiser, we keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she just won't get a clue. She doesn't have any evidence, she doesn't have any testimony, but she still goes around knocking on everyone's doors, causing disturbances. It's such a fucking headache. Usually I try to be a jovial host, so I cheer them up. She's not that much of a dunce, I say. She's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion by knocking on my very own door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Are you autistic or something? Huh? Hey. It's fucking hard. Can't read basic fucking social cues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, cui bono? Who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? See, the city is a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless. But ever since you started tinkering with it, it's been having these irritating malfunctions, and it's been driving people. Are you done? A weird, disgusting sound. Something between a gargle and a bark escapes his throat. Unbelievable. All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve the puzzle I was presented with. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you to share it. I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman. How do I get through all the rubbish in your head to drive my point in? Don't you know who I am? I want to see your higher-ups. Whatever, if the people who run this operation have a problem with me, then I want to talk to the manager, not an underling. A curt, abrasive laugh. The manager? I swear. You should have been a fucking clown. Maybe I ought to call you Pagliacci. Pagliacci. Call me whatever you want, I don't give a shit. I just want to talk to the person who pulls the strings here. Fucking unbelievable. Okay. You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. This is your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I can tell you now, you're going to be sorry. The big kahuna? Finally, now we're talking. Yes, the big kahuna. So this is your final answer, huh? Absolutely. Unbelievable. Takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah, but at least I will finally get a clue of what's going on. I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. Best case, you're gonna beg him to take you in. Whatever. He keeps grumbling under his breath, but I'm not even listening. I just watch the streets go by. Till out of the blue, I experience a strong sense of foreboding. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser with an expression that's impossible to discern. When she speaks, her voice is machine-like, yet otherworldly. Fine, we're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special. The moment he puts away his phone, his silhouette disappears. We're 5 minutes away. Better start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself to the honcho. There's no honcho. Oh my god, of course this motherfucker is setting me up. Need to get out of here now. Do the first thing that comes to mind. I grab the door handle and pull. He notices me scrambling and struggles to grab me. Hold up, you stupid fucking cunt. Glass breaking. Loud thuds of something heavy hitting asphalt. Tires screeching. I think he grabbed me. I think he tried to pull me back in. I think we fell out of the limo. I think his body cushioned my fall. But I'm struggling to process what's going on. It's like I'm blanking out. When I come to, he's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. The limo has stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out. Fucking... Then he stands up. He will be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. I need something that will give me the advantage. The pepper spray, of course. Probably won't be as effective as it would be in a living person, but it's still worth a try. I limp toward the asshole, disarm the device, aim towards his eyes, and unload the entire canister. Ah! It worked. It actually worked. I keep up the offensive. I punch him, kick him, throw him around. I pummel him. I smash his head against the curb. I struggle to harm him in whatever way I can, like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it lasts. Might be 1 minute. Might be eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing to him, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. Then I look at him. He seems shocked, barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he's one of the most influential figures in the city. But that's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. When he speaks again, his voice is pathetic, surprisingly close to a whimper. You'll pay. You'll fucking pay, you lost, mislaid and abandoned property of a woman. He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked. What, do you think I'm stupid? You needed to be taught a lesson. Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know about Callahan's final death. All of it. Go to hell. You can fuck me up however bad you want. I'm still not gonna tell you shit. You try anything, there will be consequences. There will be retribution. My mouth is shut. It might be my last chance to solve the case, but if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. Do I dare push him to the edge, make him suffer until he squeaks? I will do whatever is necessary. Oh, hey, Golem King. Me too, buddy. Well, I'm sure you will open your mouth if I do this. I put his shin against the curb. Wait, what? And kick with all my strength. It's a compound fracture. I barely managed to suppress my gag reflex. It feels like I'm dissociating. You fucking psycho! You fucking psychotic bitch! He's actually weeping, like a child. It totally shatters the tough image he was trying to project earlier. Like this is the first time he's ever used physical violence against him. What if it is? You either start talking or the other leg goes. Then the hands. Then I will get creative. I'll try to collect myself and put his other leg against the curb. I'll talk. I'll fucking talk. The kick connects. It's a light one. A sadistic feint. Still manages to get a pathetic whimper out of him. Then talk. Now this had better be good. He looks at me with pure fury, then begins to speak through clenched teeth. You want to know who was in Callahan's office before he died, little lady? Everyone. Fucking everyone and their mother was there. Vander Weyden, Aisling, Artur, and Banhard, a Khmer douche motherfucker Touche with his sidekick. All of them. Callahan thought the only way out was to pit them all against one another, or to ally with every single one of them. Little did he know, it was in all their best interest for him to just fucking die. That's good. That's great. But who killed him? I have no fucking idea. That won't do. Once again, I put his leg in a potentially disastrous position. In response, he starts howling maniacally. You fucking sadist! You fucking monster woman! I have no idea! I thought we were going to be done with this conversation faster. I wouldn't have done the gravelly voice. Fuck. Who kept complaining to you about me? Who was responsible for getting rid of the evidence? Everyone. Everyone did. Goddamn Callahan had dirt on everyone and antagonized everyone, so it took everyone to fucking bring him down. All evidence is gone. Every theory is equally true. So none of it is, don't you see, you fucking cunt? Everyone is complicit, so nobody is. Why the fuck do you think Sophie Langley is no longer around? Why do you think Torque is no longer pretending to be revolutionary? Why are free agents involved? Why are they shutting you up tomorrow? Shutting me up? Who? Can't you connect the dots, you dumb whore? What are you? No, I'm not dropping the R word. Somebody is about to get Julia. I look back over my shoulder and see Kadir. Bloody hell. What is wrong with you? Kadir, you're out of control. This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. Hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off. Look, you're talking nonsense. You're out of your damn mind. Should have you in for a potential masquerade breach. Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker had tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Don't you care about that? I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous. Psychotic. Shut the fuck up. Can't control myself. I kick him where I know it will hurt him the most. Ah, fucking leg! Stop this right now, you goddamned idiot! I freeze in place. I've never heard him use that tone with me. I will take care of you in a moment. In my car, Kaiser. Hold on. I'm not done questioning him yet. It looks like there's a major conspiracy too. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're going to be glad I leave it at that. If you do that, I'm going to have to assume you're complicit. That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a third. So that's it. Tell me, what was all of my footwork even for? We'll be seeing each other, little lady. Can you hear this? Go home, Julia. But go home. Fine, I will. But before I do, I take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo, still abandoned a little further down the street. Yeah, sounds like he's complicit, all right. What a good little story. What a good novel we're going through. That's a hell of a twist. Let's give the church again tonight. I want more time to finish this report. Who knows, it might be my final one. I want to spend more time with Dakota. Yeah. Just forget about the rest of the world. A lot happened tonight, but I can still manage to be at our apartment an hour earlier than usual. She should be glad. Sneak into the apartment as silently as possible, trying to surprise her. When I reach her bedroom, I see something unexpected. It's be like a ton of bricks. At the beginning, I can't properly pass the sight. When I finally understand what I'm looking at, it causes a wave of terror and disgust to swell up inside my chest. This could be bad, everyone. I don't think less of you for checking out. What the fuck? Huh. She's shocked to see me. Doesn't know what to do. She's like a deer in headlights or a schoolgirl poorly trying to hide her misdeeds from a teacher. You're early. Yes, I am. Those are my clothes, Dakota. Those are my cigarettes. That's my jewelry on the table. Yeah, I was, and I'm pretty sure... God almighty, I thought I was just being neurotic when I noticed something dreadfully familiar in you. I can explain. Please do explain. Good 10 seconds of awkward silence pass. I can see her spending an eternity in her head. Yeah, I thought that was going to be much worse. This isn't what it looks like? Oh my god, it is exactly what it looks like. I will just come out and say it. Dakota, are you single white femaling me? All makes sense now. No, come on, no. I thought I was the leech in this relationship. We watched that movie together. We made fun of Jennifer Jason Leigh together. A roommate stalking and imitating her own roommate. Ha ha ha, what a concept, right? But I was being fed on in a far more sinister way without knowing it. Don't be silly. Silly? I've never been this serious with you. So whenever she put on my makeup, whenever I used her as a mirror, was she always hyping me up because she wanted to live vicariously through me? So many things make sense in retrospect. The little ways you kept modulating your speech after me, the weird ways our tastes were always compatible, some of your art feeling so familiar. None of it would trigger any alarms by itself, and yet she's as humanly embarrassed as possible. Julia, listen, don't fucking touch me. I barely think of anything more repulsive than being put on a pedestal like this. It's like the other person is begging me to perceive them as someone worse, if not outright subhuman. Don't be like this. Just don't. You know, this would probably be infinitely more palatable if you talk to me like a person here, not like, I don't know, your fucking mummy. You know what? Fuck you. I've been locked in this apartment by myself because of all this pandemic shit going on. It's fucking me up. I know you have it hard right now, so I didn't want to bother you. Yeah, I was counting you to ask about how I'm feeling. Babe, how is your work-life balance? Aren't you feeling claustrophobic? Hey, is it just me or is our drug supply weirdly shrinking too fast? But no, you were too much of a self-centered bitch. You regularly suck me dry, and it's okay. The moment I entertain the thought of taking something in return, I'm crossing a line? Oh no, I'm a member of an immortal elite secret society. It's so hard to cope. Dakota, whenever I gracefully decide to visit our apartment, let's just do what I enjoy until the pain stops. Fuck you. Fuck you. Sincerely, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. There's nothing you can do but take, and you should have learned by now that just taking won't make you happy, you big dumb bitch. Stop. Just... I don't know what to say. I feel disgusted, both with her and myself. Just stop. Dakota breaks down, crying. She grabs a jacket and a purse and runs out of the apartment. I don't try to stop her. I stand there for a short while in silence. Then lock the door. She take her keys? I don't know. I don't know if I care. I desired for someone else. Not for myself, for a way to open a different world, not get locked back in mine. Collapse onto the soft bed. I smell her perfume. I always liked it, but now it makes me slightly nauseous. I try not to think of Dakota. I think of Kaiser. I think of Kadir. I think of Callahan. No matter what I think of, I sense doom. I feel that I've just sealed my fate. Whatever it may be. Everything fucking sucks. Back into the void. Back into the void. Back into the void. Cool shit. For me, it always starts with an image. An image which might be vaguely eerie or interesting, but usually not an image that would provoke particularly strong feelings by itself. Usually hides a mystery, that much is correct. That mystery doesn't exist without a text, or more specifically a context. Context is everything. One way or another, you need to process what you're looking at. Maybe that context will be something you've heard or overheard. Maybe, although it's quite rare and pretty special, it'll be your very own creative, captivating, complete interpretation. A ghost of an idea. Is this a half-forgotten memory of something unspeakably beautiful that I will never, ever see again? Just a scene from a movie, a fragment of a music video, an animation? Maybe this really is the last thing Callahan ever saw in his own life. Warm sunbeams caressing his skin and turning it to ash. A giant ball of fire engulfing his body in flame from 93 million miles away. Was he terrified? Was he grateful? There's no will, no suicide note, no nothing. Instead, we can only count on what the local historians will write, presumably letting their biases shape the narrative one way or another. What am I looking at here? A horrible, laughable hall of mirrors. A creep whom I never, ever want to see again. A vampire much more despicable than myself. Maybe someone who loved taking care of me and deserved to be cared for in return. Funny thing, whenever I was high as a kite, mentally lost in dimensions parallel to ours, she was my anchor. Our shared history, my feelings for her, were an anchor. Matthew McConaughey, returning to his estranged daughter from the other side of the cosmos, from beyond the event horizon, guided by nothing but love. Then whenever I got back to planet Earth for a week or two, I was haunted by a memory of that affection. I was the best possible version of myself toward her. But that haunting always refused to transfigure into something real. What gradually took its place were angry, disappointed thoughts, and among them one thought that I was always trying to suppress. I need someone who'd know how to raise me up spiritually, but all I have is a sycophant who's always working her ass off to lift me up without understanding what I need. It's hurting us both. Having these words pop up in my head hurt me because they had a ring of truth to them. But also because I knew there must be another narrative, a better narrative. I was just too stupid to find it. Story of my life, story of my unlife. Still have no idea what I think about this city. I had my the best city in the world phase. I had a just playground for wealthy fucktards phase. Now I'm in search of a better description. One day, probably, I'll stumble upon like a piece of writing a prestigious TV show scene that will contain just that, and suddenly I will look at this place with new eyes. Maybe I won't. It's like the frustrations I had back at Lodestar. All of these words constantly trailing behind reality, trapping you in useless mindsets instead of bringing enlightenment. Fuck all those flashy writers whose main concern is furthering their own brand. Douchebags who present you with limited, pathetic, depressing realities where they are kings. Fuck them all to hell. We need words that will paint a brighter future before our eyes. But what if that can't be done without reinterpreting the past first? What if we haven't even defined the ills and threats correctly? Once again, my thoughts return to the same visual that has been tormenting me almost every waking moment of this past week. A senseless demise devoid of any context, a crime scene stripped of evidence, an image created by an unknown artist designed to leave you dumbfounded. The investigation is over, all possible avenues explored, all the non-testimonies are in, no concrete evidence found. The play is almost complete, the actors ready to leave the stage. It is what it is. I failed as a detective. Maybe through no fault of my own, but again, it is what it is. This case, this scene, this picture never needed an investigator. From what I understand, all the people in charge ever wanted was a talented writer. What if a ghost of an idea? When I wake up, the coder is still not here. I don't know how to feel about that, so I just don't. Kitty hasn't left any messages by the door. Still that mad, huh? He'll probably appeal to the court to take me off the case. And if half the garbage Kaiser was spouting is correct, he shouldn't have much trouble convincing everyone. I look in the mirror and stare at my warped non-reflection. This place is upsetting. You need to change of scenery, girl. The depressing streets of a lockdown New York City will do. I think of God. Maybe that's why I half-consciously picked the cathedral as my destination. I think of the silver cross adorning my chest, an empty signifier. Whenever someone asks me why I wear it, they hear a different story. I think of these silhouettes I keep spotting from the corner of my eye. No, I don't even want to imagine what that means. I feel what it means, and that makes me nauseous enough. Think of my clan so closely tied to the Catholic Church. It's a loveless marriage, so to speak. Like, for example, the one between my parents. Think about the great irony, the La Sombra's truce with the Holy See. We were the only ones who stay so close to the Lord's light, even though we're certain we will never, ever reach it. Some of us shadows have visions. Visions of comrades who departed this world recently, traveling through some abstract space, one that's disturbing and astonishing in equal measures. We almost reach whatever afterlife there is for our kind, but then get caught and consumed by a dark, monstrous silhouette. Rumor is our antediluvian wasn't stopped by his final death. He's still out there, behind the shadows, taking revenge for our patricide, feeding on us like Saturn devouring his children. Staccato would say, it might not be factual, but it is an emotional truth. From joining the Camarilla, to paniacally scrambling for any safe house, it's like our elders were solely motivated by fear. The sins of our fathers are catching up with them, and it's young kindred like me who are given responsibility to clean up their mess with a constant sense of doom looming over the horizon. We don't talk about salvation anymore. We're just minimizing the impact of damnation. It's good, isn't it? Isn't it so fucking good? Isn't it amazing? It's a beautiful game. It's sad. It's tragic. Cuts deep. I think they've done a very good job. I think I'm enjoying it a lot. Was that the end? No. No, I saved and quit because it is 10:02. And I'm pretty sure there'll be more to go, but we are finishing for the night there, I'm afraid. I just figured it was a appropriately dramatic moment to end. We will get one more episode likely next Wednesday night, and then probably start Final Fantasy VII immediately. Thumbs up emoji, hell yeah. Thanks for joining in for a little bit, Golem King. I think it's been fantastic, and stretched myself a little bit with a gravelly voice, and leaning away from the mic before I scream in pain. Hell yeah. All right, I'm loving it. But I definitely need to finish up and do some kitchen work and go to sleep because I have work for tomorrow and Friday. But look, it's been a little while since I've been on stream, and I'm sincerely very glad to see many of you back here tonight. I'm sincerely glad to be back up again and reading some Vampire with all of you. I want to shout out to all my people in my follow box, but in particular always Golem King on Saturday morning, who is probably doing more Dead by Daylight dating sim on Saturday morning, and he's absolutely worth it. And then you can follow on the very good afternoon with our good friend Dead Man's Tea Party, who may even have his streaming setup fixed by this Sunday night, right? We hope so. Otherwise, False Security's got a re-debut coming up soon, and I hope you check her out because good value. Hey, glad to hear it, Dead Man. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm excited to do some trekking over the wilderness. Now that the sequel is announced, right? Death Stranding 2 is on its way at some point. Maybe you'll have time to finish it. On tomorrow, thank you. Fantastic. I was wondering if it was later in the month. But tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon for False Security. All right, well, thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy yourself. Go check out the VODs for the rest of Shadows in New York if you want some time to kill, because it's absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, I hope you tell the people you love them very much. Because even though they may know it, you may not say it enough. And then, hey, they could be pretending to be you when you're out, and that's terrifying.